bring up this Frost Leon composition aside of Geekay.
Yeah, I feel like that could be a good call here, but it looks like not for game number 1 so far, but definitely something they're going to be holding into their utility throughout this series. But we now have the bracket onto the board here for you in terms of the ban picks. The Aoin going up against the Flowball Marksman. It seems to be, obviously, once again, just that time tail of the best of 3. It's either Aoin going up against Chana or Aoin going up against the Flowball Marksman because you need the extra bit of range, and I prefer the Flowball Marksman matchup because you have the Arrow Storm. We saw it many times yesterday. It puts enough pressure onto this pick into the farm lane to exhaust that ultimate.
Yeah, so being a really good counter-attack, prioritizing their bottom on the side of Geekay, right?
Yep.
To build up a winning lane at the bottom, and so does the Charlotte, can do great deal damage upon this Aoin during the team fight. So it's gonna be really good if they do so on the red side. And also for the bans, I think Geekay is for a potential Agudo play.
They could
this kind, but Nemesis just spotted out, so that's the reason why they just take Agudo being unavailable.
Yeah, Agudo's unavailable here for Musang King. We know he used to play this back when we had Blind Draft, but he's taken a card back off of Just Cheese blacklist here. He's going for the Monkey, giving him a little bit more of an extra tank into the front line, but also a great engage potential. We saw many times yesterday when that Dream Roam, it looks sparkly in game, but the devastation for a team fight is definitely not sparkling or glitter for Monkey.
Yeah, I mean like double initiator, double engagement, and also double tanks. That's what we're gonna say on the side of Geekay Esports. And also like just feel the hype of the ground right now, off the stage right now, because we are doing a single elimination, and we mentioned about what brought them into this journey in KWC this year. So everyone just aiming to the trophy, standing right in front of them.
Absolutely, eyes on the prize, and not only for the cash prize, but for that golden trophy right in front of them, as you say there, Nora. And as well, we are crowning our first semi-finalist today as well. So that's going to be a huge burden for these two teams to be thinking about when it comes into these team fights. If they make any errors, if they make any mistakes, it could cost them tournament life.
And best of 7, I'm always going to be a big fan for this kind of marathon play game. So why not just dive right into game 1? Ready for the battle, ready for the quarterfinal.
Absolutely. Team Nemesis is onto the blue side here. Geekay Esports onto the red. I want to shift focus over to this pit. I want to see the in-game votes. I want to see which team is currently got the bigger fan base here. And I'm seeing a huge red wave. It looks like Geekay is going to be topping up those votes.
I feel like it's going to be very important for them to give an optimistic result to those fans who showed such great support.
Yes, absolutely. Support in-game, at the venue, wherever you are, your teams need you indeed. But I feel like in this early game here, it's just going to be a lot of tip for tap between these two teams, right? Obviously, we've seen already right now quite an aggressive play here from Guayu going into...
In 1 minute? I just like that's too much for me.
It's too much, but Shishan did say he wants it to be quick, right? So maybe this is why. They just need to make sure they're not being a little bit too quick, a little bit too hasty here for the side of Geekay Esports. But to Nemesis' defense here, they do actually have a little bit of a goal lead so far.
Yeah, I mean like 300 goal lead, that is very decent in the early game. And also because of Joe, his rotation, he's actually give up one of his mid lane over to TNX, which also accelerates TNX farming pace in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about high, right, that pick, you're not really needing the gold in the early game. You just want to get to level 4. You want to get that ultimate, and I want to see some of those aggressive Moonskin Mirages, right? We've been seeing some fantastic ones yesterday, almost game clutching and pretty much game over for your opponent team if you get taken into that Moonskin Mirage. But if we're looking here towards Geekay's draft, who's going to be the prime target into that ultimate?
Well, I feel like it's going to be hard for him to get his hand on this Flowball Marksman or this Garuda. So potentially it's going to be a Monkey or this Charlotte.
Yep, or potentially, yeah, Monkey or Charlotte. I mean, you're going to take away that Dream Roam, take away that big chunky tank here from the jungle that just stacks up that passive, gets that shield. But as he's stacking up passive, he does more damage from it as well.
Yeah, so actually they really need to focus on the timing that Haya is going to break out his ulti, but also both ulti matters a lot for the jungler, for the mid laners. For Shisan this time, Garuda need to do the pushing at the bottom with this Zhangfei, which allowing them to build up the advantage in the mid game.
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, having that Wings of Judgment from the Garuda, right? You're already doing a lot of poke damage before you get into the team fight, which you want it to be more successful. But onto the side of Nemesis, you can imagine that L is going to be the one that's going to be body blocking a lot of that damage, right? Making sure the CC or Jill isn't taking too many unnecessary shots.
I mean, it's very classic to see Zhangfei play against Lapu Lapu in one game so far in KWC. But speaking of the winning rate, I would say Zhangfei win the upper hand.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He has the bigger win rate. But I feel like you make a good point there. Like, we see so many Lapu Lapu going against Zhangfei. You forget there's any other support heroes on the actual game itself. Like, they just keep bringing out these tanks. But into a best of 7, they have to keep bringing out these ones as well. They do a good play here. Nemesis is able to force the flash here from Shishan on the side of Geekay Esports.
That's actually very crucial because we are stepping into 4 minutes mark. It's not only about the Tyrant, but also the pushing strategy which is mentioned, right? Without a flash, Garuda will be a little bit difficult for him to push at the bottom.
The push at the bottom here is going to be what the pressure is needed for, obviously, an easier take for the Tyrant here. 10 seconds onto the Gorge. We're going to be seeing that first neutral objective. Going for the Space Sprite is going to be Geekay as they set up a fast rotation here. But at the same time, Nemesis is definitely putting the pressure on.
Yeah, with this Haya, guarantee the vision control is going to be the team fight.
Yep, Unbridled Outburst being committed early into that part. We do need to see Musang King here into the pit as well. Only blown away TNX is not going to be the biggest devastator there, but it's going to be Gem having to force the flash into the backline there. The Arrow Storm has to come in, but it's going to be CC picking up the first blood. However, they lose the Tyrant. They lose so much here onto the side of Team Nemesis, but can they make a bit of a comeback? Joel gets the slam here onto Guayu. L goes down. That's a 2-for-2 trade, but Tyrant goes over the side of Geekay.
I mean, it was so chaotic around the 4 minutes mark.
Yep.
It was a 2-2 trade. Yeah, I do like the way how CC is sacrificing himself for that targeting, for that 1-1 trade. And as for Geekay, I do like the way how Guayu, this Charlotte, was keeping his eyes on TNX Yukio, allowing them to guarantee the dragon. So directly into this replay, you can see CC with a flash and also 3-1 combo, directly taking Gem down, denying him, and just check the bottom side, right? Yukio was targeted by this Charlotte, but Haya as a trying to supporting this Yukio, but still the dragon goes.
Oh, I mean, a lot was committed for that kill onto Tubbs there, but they need to bring that kill into some kind of transition, right? They need to go for some kind of objective. Obviously, top side of the map, we do see a takedown there of Gem. This means TNX can push this minion wave through. We are seeing Musang King has to move and rotate top side, or else they lose their first T1, which is not going to be a healthy side here if YU cannot replicate that same pressure down bot side.
I feel like, a lot of things are happening right now in the battlefield, and which is not usual to see these two teams play in this way, because I still remember the last time when they play against each other, that was like such a long game, right?
The longest game.
The longest game so far, upon like 28 minutes. So you can see like how intense that they are in the early game.
Yeah, you can see all the keys of the recipes here for another one of those long games, but we're hoping that the games are going to be a little bit shorter, right? Obviously, it's going to be a best of 7. We don't want to be seeing 28 minutes every game. That gets exhausted not only for ourselves, but you can imagine being in the player's shoes. If your average game is 30 minutes, that's a lot of time to keep recovering from these long brawls. Speaking of long brawls here, L's able to actually just dash out of that team fight.
I mean, like, play in a more aggressive way. That's the reason why Jill, this Zhangfei, is always break out his ulti as long as he got it, right? Playing very fierce. And as for Nemesis, I do like the way how they are doing the settling pushing. Because Dharma and also Yukio, both heroes, allowing them to do so, which also gonna, just kind of make some distraction happening to their opponent.
Yeah, and naturally, TNX here on the Yukio pick is gonna have a faster wave clear, right? You can see the clear XP differential between these two players. Musang King still sat on level 10, whereas TNX is level 12. We do see a bit of a flank here, potentially brewing up by CC, but soon gets answered here by Guayu, keeping the man check come through here here as well. Forcing out that ultimate, Guayu does take a lot of damage, but once again, Nemesis are just playing the smoke and mirrors that we've been seeing the entire time in this tournament, just getting that minion wave back into the top side.
And I do like, I really want to highlight C0, put this player on the spotlight because I think he's so well played in the group stage, and he actually like outplayed all the marksmen that he faced in the group stage.
Yep. A lot of damage, long range damage that is being put onto TNX there, brings his health down to a substantial point that he has to recall. So obviously TNX is rotation here. He doesn't really get any clear into the jungle, so he's not going to be really missing out on much time there. Unbridled Ever, Stampede followed up. Jill does have the ultimate. It's going to take him into the Moonscape Mirage, but Musang King has been left, the sitting duck. But we do have in the wind Shishan, Gem looking for some kind of come around here, wrap around onto Team Nemesis. The flash here being used. Ooh. We have the Dream Robe. They capture the Crimson Golem, but for what is going to be cost here at Team Nemesis? It's a 2-1 trade for now. Tufts into the back line. He tries to get the kill onto Gem. Gem gets out by the liquor line.
I mean, one sacrifice that made by support trade for 3 more, that's totally in favor of Geekay.
Yeah, absolutely. But now Geekay has to try and transition this into structural damage, right? Like, you look at Team Nemesis' base, it's still looking very healthy.
Yeah, I do like the way how they just kind of lay back, you know?
Yeah.
After Haya break out his ulti, everyone just waiting there with full composure and just check the ulti, break down that monkey, and also flash in by Charlotte. It just like reinitiate for the whole team fight.
Exactly. When you got 3 like kind of like initiations, kind of types there for the side of Geekay Esports, it gives you so much flavor to work with, right? It means that if one fails, it's fine. We just basically peel back a bit and then we try and find another way in, which is what we saw beautifully there as well. Just before the 10-minute mark, we do get a second Tyrant onto the side of Geekay Esports, but we now have to start to tend in the farm, right? We see top side of the map looking to be pressured once again by Nemesis, but once again, rotation here from Musang King, as well as Shishan, just keeping them away.
But I mean, like, when we're talking about 10 minutes mark, we definitely need to highlight both junglers, right? And if we check the goal difference, actually TNX got like almost 2,000 gold lead against Musang King, which also means Nemesis relies a lot on the versatile damage coming out from TNX Yukio.
Yeah, which is a weird game state to be at, right? Your overall global gold goes into the side of Geekay, but you've got the differential into the jungle. I mean, Yukio, you need that, but at the same time, we're seeing a contestant for that Crimson Golem. Musang King steals it away again. The Smite diff comes through, but this is where the Smite matters. Musang King doesn't have it. TNX is primed and proper to try and get this contest here.
So Geekay still need to kiting it for like 20 seconds more. That's the reason why they're dragging out this Tyrant, trying to buy them more time.
Buying them more time. He's going to be down Bridal Embers, pushing back 2. It's going to push back LCC onto the back line. Once again, it's Tufts. He falls. That's not going to be a good initiation or disengage potential here for the side of Team Nemesis. Gem takes down Earl, and L is on the run. They have the Tyrant. TNX is just trying to capture any kind of means of stopping this escape here.
But I mean, just check the coordination that Geekay has about those team fights, right? Actually, they are enclosing, they're moving in groups, so which also isolates Tufts in that case.
Yeah, it's a hard isolation, right? If you're committing on a Dharma, it's going to mean kind of pretty much life or death, right? Because you have no real disengage here onto the side of Team Nemesis unless you get that Lapo Lapo Rising Tide ulti or a Moonscape Mirage onto like somebody that's already aggressing Tufts into that backline. But we know that Dharma, when you're currently 0-3-1, is not necessarily going to have that great itemization, what you need for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely the damage out isn't that sufficient on the side of Nemesis, but it's more about their purpose, right? Because actually they're trying to vie for the Tyrant, and you know, as a result, it's an open misground.
Yep, open misground, but the higher ground trying to be claimed here by Geekay Esports. Takedown of L. Once again, that repositioning, a Raging Tide is not going to be coming through here. Forced back to the base. TNX very low. He doesn't want to blemish that 2-0-1 KDA, right? But at what cost is it going to be this T3? We have the Vanguard here.
I mean, in the mid-game, the most painful thing that Nemesis is suffering right now is because how they're gonna eat up all those poking damage dealt by Geekay. As you can see, Flowball Marksman with a red buff and also Garuda with such a long attacking range, they can just easily take a lot of HP down before the teamfight even happens.
Exactly, it just shows you the benefits of this draft, right? Like Geekay was struggling in the early parts when obviously the fight was coming into close quarters. They weren't able to get that kind of initial fight that they really wanted with that long range poke. The Wings of Judgment here once again, just placing down, just knocking out the minion wave, but it's gonna be the Raging Tide met with the Unbridled Outburst. The T3 top side has been taken down. They have the Vanguard here. It's coming through. It's gonna be shut up the back line with a Stampede as well. TNX is trying to do his best with the burst damage to take down the Vanguard. Tufts connects Musan King onto the back line, but it's not enough. They don't have the damage. They have the minion wave here into mid. Nemesis has to mount a defense. Oh, game one goes to Geekay.
Such a clean operation that Geekay did. Well, it kind of be a little bit chaotic in the early game, but they just pulled themselves together in such a quick way and just check the settings that they made around the 10-minute mark. Show their composure, show their experience, show their determination to game.
Yeah. They're just like the kettle that I use frequently in the green room. You're just waiting for it to boil, and then when it goes ding, you get the hot water, you get what you wanted and what you came for, and that's exactly what Geekay came for, is game one victory. We go back to what we were saying in the pregame. Game one, match one means so much to these two teams.
And I do like the way how they execute their composition in the mid-game. Just check those settings that they made, right? Yep. Around the 4-minute mark, I do appreciate CC's 1-1 trade that was so fierce and set the standard really high. But once we getting into the mid-game, you can see like the poking damage. It's like too much for Nemesis to soak in.
Oh, absolutely. It's too much. I mean, you look at that draft, right? Obviously, if L falls, who's going to be the one that's going to be taking the brunt of that damage? It's naturally Tufts, right? Obviously, you normally see the Dharma go for the Either Phoenix later on within the game in terms of itemization. But the fact is, you weren't able to claim that because a lot of pressure was put onto Tufts into these team fights to make the difference. Like we're seeing here, he dives in, there's no follow-up. All they're really hoping for is a takedown of that Tyrant, which is what TNX did there. But what they did, what they didn't do, is what the panelists are going to talk through now for you. So Rain Day, take it away.
I feel like it's all upon to one different decision that Nemesis trying to guarantee the Tyrant, but as for Geekay, it's not that.
Well, thank you guys for the analysis, Snorum and Mitch.
Yes, or Blam. I don't know, man.
Listen,
I don't know anymore.
I almost said Blim at that point because I was catching myself on the timings of some of these things. I said, I'm not going to say Blim. I'm going to go Mitch. And we're gonna keep it true. Whatever it is, we're saying true things here. And speaking of that, I will say that it was a great game for Musan King on the Menki. Did not die. And that was also a major element of this whole team from Geekay Esports. They kept themselves in the mix, Isaac, but how did they do so well? How did they turn this game into their favor?
I think that that's the difference between best of 3 and best of 7s, right? Like heroes like the Monkey just come in right now and they become like the first pick, something that you would not have seen in the play-ins or in the group stages, because there's so many other options out there that you can actually use. But right now you need to be thinking, all right, what if we go into game 5, into game 6? So the Monkey right over there was a good pick, and Musan King just taught us exactly how to use it.
TNX also, pretty good game, even had a steal on one of the objectives, but it didn't work out. So what was stopping Nemesis from capitalizing on some pretty good jungle play as well?
I think if we can jump right in towards this like title strader that we have right now on our lap, we can analyze the draft here. So if we were to bring it up, the video clip right here.
Come on, King Sagi is asking for the production, guys.
So let's talk about draft, right, ladies and gentlemen. So in game 1, yes, you want to start off strong, but in the BO7 series, you drafted the Lone, this thing over here, Haya, Ukyo, and Lapu Lapu. These 4 picks are extremely expensive, and Rain Day, we practice the global ban pick, so once they have selected these 4 picks, it's gone for the remainder of the BO7.
That is aggressive, man. Like they decide, you know what, I'm gonna take the tempo at the beginning of the game with the Ukyo, and then with the Aoyang and with the Lapu Lapu, everything's gonna go well for us.
Now, to their point as well, once you take the Aoyang, you're thinking like, okay, I have strong burst, I have strong sustain, but what does Aoyang lack? Long range, dive capability. So what do they pick? They're like, okay, let's do a Flowball Marksman. Let's do a Garuda. Then you're thinking like, man, I don't have range. How do I reach the backline coming in from this? And I don't have enough DPS to realistically take down this monkey here. So the last 3 picks coming in from the side of Geekay Esports just perfectly dismantling the side of Nemesis.
They decide just, you know what, you want to play aggressive. I'm gonna just kind of like hold it for the first 4, 5, 6 minutes. I'm gonna try to survive, and then after that mid-late game, you have nothing to answer back.
Seems like looking back, it's a bit of a mistake, but also they're prioritizing getting somebody strong in the farm lane. And you could say maybe that's the general idea. However, they don't do enough with the bans to avoid taking mid laners like the Garuda that you mentioned that could be effective from range, so they don't actually have to fight with Aoyan. And so they don't get that game plan going, Sagi, is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, they wanted to use the Ukyo, they wanted to use the strong engage coming in from the side of Team Nemesis to look for those engages here, but Geekay Esports played really safe and they stalled to this crucial fight. Let me whip it up. It's going to be the 10th minute fight that we will be having on our screen. Take a look at this. Tough Z all the way towards the back line here. He doesn't get it. As of this point, you're thinking like, oh, we got the Tyrant, but every single one of our members are incapable of fighting anymore. And it's just a clean and easy pickup coming in from Geekay Esports.
I'm telling you, right over here is the moment where Musan King just popped up, man. Like, he just comes in, he sees Tubbs just jumping in too late, a little bit too deep and too early, I would actually say. And then after that, they get the Tyrant. That is good, but to what cost? 3 people, then they lose the mid turret, and then they lose the game because then their high ground is open.
And this high ground that we talk about, right? Look at the range advantage coming in from both the Garuda and the Flowball Marksman here. Before the fight even started, they're already low HP, they're forced to fight, and if they don't fight, Crystal, poof, game 1 goes to Geekay.
It is just poke strat, man, and then after that, if you actually want to be aggressive, but you if you cannot jump into the back lane, then there's no damage that you can deal.
I mentioned Musan King at the start of it in the Menki pick. Unlike a Jing, who has to get in, do its burst damage, and then get out, he could stay a little bit more in the fight, right? And so that also makes it a problem for the Aoyan to reach, because he's got to deal with Musan King and the Menki jumping in on him the entire time.
It is tanky, it is mobile, it deals damage. Clearly, it's not very early game, and that is one of the difficult parts of it. But when you're a team like Geekay Esports and you can actually understand how to just kind of like just hold it for a little bit longer, understanding the times, then actually that hero works really well.
So, Sagi, let's go back to Team Nemesis, right? You look at this draft, you look at the results of it. Gen X has a decent game. You also look at maybe the mid lane as well. They drafted expensive picks in the Haya. You see the Lapu Lapu that we've seen, the Dharma that I was talking about with Ken, and the slam against the wall when you have that. What is the strategy now? Because they've used those picks and now they haven't won the game. Do you go a little bit more conservative, or do you go back and say, okay, we're picking 4 strong heroes again?
I think if you are on the side of the coaching staff for the side of Team Nemesis, you will want to go strong again, because in this power ranking that we are having for Team Nemesis and Geekay Esports, it's largely slanted over to the side of Geekay here. So if you want your team to feel much more confident, like what they did back in the group stage, you need to draft a strong one so they can actually come in towards the series and start feeling good.
I think that the biggest problem right now is that they took the Lapu Lapu, they did not win.
Right.
In front of them, Geekay already had the Tramphase, so Tramphase is not going to be available because they're going to ban it. So that forced them already into different kind of roamers, because those kind of just tanky roamers that have been really meta for this 2026 KWC are just not going to be available for Game 2 and Game 3.
Was it the Zhongfei on the side of Geekay that they had? Okay, so that's also not available for them. That works out in the way, so they could trade that in the roam position.
Correct.
They've gotten rid of the Lapu Lapu as an option. But that also means that looking back at it, Lapu Lapu is available on the side of GK if they want to go that route. So prioritizing what you want and where you're going to sometimes ban away or pick away. These best of 7 start to become more of that chess that you had mentioned, Sagi, where these teams are not just playing 1 game away, they're playing 4 games away, or maybe even 5 games away, looking at that Game 7.
And it goes to show how important pick and ban is coming in for a best of 7 series here, especially when you're talking about like, okay, now Game 2, what do you do on the side of Geekay Esports? Like, yeah, we can give them more picks, because if they still don't win with those strong picks, they're going to disrupt their entire tempo when it comes to building those important drafts later on. You're going to start feeling more and more pressure as the series grows into the later stages.
As long as your hero pool is deep enough, you're going to be fine. It's just 1 game in a best of 7. It's totally okay. But the problem is if your hero pool is not that deep, and right now your heroes are just kind of just becoming a little bit more limited, then that is going to be tough.
Power draft, you thinking? They go back to it?
Actually, power draft, I do believe that the idea is going to be in this game number 2.
What do you think, Sagi?
I think maybe on a Pei Luna, something like a jungle assassin coming in from TNX, then giving CC more room to perform on those late game carries. That's my ideal scenario coming in for the side of Team Nemesis.
Well, Team Nemesis already find themselves behind in Game 1. GK Esports off to the races, but it was some back and forth. However, Menki was able to disrupt. Moose and King able to get all of the kills he wants without dying and getting punished. Can Nemesis find a way to turn this draft around and maybe turn around Game 2 to send us to a tied up Game 3? It's best of 7s here at KWC, so don't go anywhere. This series is just starting. Let's send it back over to Blam and Nora to talk about what they think.
Thank you very much, Evan Day. I thought I'd mix your name up since you mixed mine up there. We're having a little tit for tat, but speaking of which, the tit for tat definitely took place in that game number 1 between these two teams. And looking at the draft that we've just had, Nora, obviously what I'm trying to come up with like a current identity here for Team Nemesis is that draft they had team fight breakdown. They wanted to kind of push apart and split apart Geekay Esports and use the burst damage potential to run them down. However, Geekay had the long range proc and they had the frontline big engage, but also disengage potential.
But that also means like Nemesis is trying to play in a more aggressive way, right? Just like you said, right? They're trying to initiate. So in that case, maybe this time they will go for the Zhang Fei pick or like pick something like Pei. On the side of Nemesis.
It's available, right? I mean, that definitely gives TNX kind of like a green light go here because Pei has not been banned. They banned out the Aoyin because they picked it in game number 1. They don't want to see the Princess Frost and Liang combo that you were talking about in the first pre-game as well here, Nora. So for the side of Geekay, they're like, you know what? Let's give some AOV love. Let's pick the Lorian here, and Shishan's going to be navigating that one. What do we think about this?
Well, Lorian, I do love this Lorian pick because Lorian can be so well-rounded in this patch, right? You can gain the priority in the mid lane, but also same time do a lot of burst damage at the team fight. So I do like it, and also I like the way how they just grab this Pei away, paired up with Channel, build himself up a winning lane at the bottom. So I do like the way how Geekay is doing right now.
Yeah, I love the 4D chess aspect of this draft so far, right? Obviously, we don't ban out the Pei, we don't ban out the Ali, but we ban out the Mai Shiranui. Knowing that the fact is kind of like, okay, so Mai's not here, so we've not got one counter against the Ali. And also the fact that Mai's been banned, they're like, okay, we're going to go for the dire deal, like Isaac said on the panel there. And now it's like, because they've had to lock this in, it gave over the complete disguise saying, hey, we get the Pei instead. So really, here for the side of Geekay, they go for the Pei, and we know Musan King loves the Gudo, which is kind of more of like a passive, but keeps that same kind of momentum. But Pei, he's full aggression. He is ready to go when it's the 1 second of the game.
And I do like the way how TNX is respond to this play by using his signature hero Jin, right? It's kind of spicy right now because like both assassins play as a jungler. It's always going to be so entertaining to watch.
Very entertaining, but even more so, once again, you catch out these kind of synergizing picks within the heroes, right? Last few days, we've seen the Jin come up. We like to see get paired with the Lu Bang, right? It's my personal favorite delivery system synergy. You go in with a Jin, you use the ult, you get the shield, you get the burst damage with the magic as well as all that damage you coming from the Jin here. So a good ban over to the side of Geekay once they knew that Jin was coming through. But onto the side here of Team Nemesis, they ban out the Lapu Lapu, they ban out the Yanet. So into the bot side of the map here, we're looking, if we're going for a tank, we've only really got the Lian Po, right?
Yeah, I mean, Lian Po can be a really nice choice on the side of Geekay if they're trying to, you know, scatter the whole composition. And also paired up with this Dharma, it can just build up a really comfortable setting for both Channel and Pei to do the out damage that they want to do.
Yeah, this is a statement piece here by Guayu, right? Like, he's like, I saw what you was trying to do, Tubbs, in that game number 1, but I'm going to show you how exactly it is going to be orchestrated here for the team Geekay Esports. But I do like the Lian Po, like you were saying, it's going to be enough to kind of tear apart the identity of side of Team Nemesis. Tremor Smash is going to be a huge setup, but one hero that's not affected by that is this Angela, right, Nora?
Yeah, because Angela needs to do the burst out damage combined with Die Dis initiation. So that's going to be a little bit problem for them to test out if their synergy is there or not. Because due to the mobility that Geekay Esports Heroes has, it's going to be a little bit troublesome for them to do so. But if they can't do it, it's going to guarantee them the full vision control of the riverside.
That's the one. If they can achieve it, they're going to get full control of the river. But the way it has to go is when we see onto the gorge, right? Obviously, the Baichi has not been a favorable pick within the desk. Obviously, Isaac does not like this pick. He always, you see his face when this pick comes onto the card. He's just like... disappointed father energy, you know? But hopefully Team Nemesis here is going to use it to full potential, right? Obviously, he is going to be soaking a lot of that damage in this game number 2, but only time will tell. Can Geekay get another point onto the board to bring it to a neutralizing halfway state of this best of 7?
And I mean, for game 2, Nemesis did some swap in the early game, right? Both side lanes, they turned into the opposite side, trying to highlight CC in the early game to deal with this drama.
Yeah, just kind of give over a little bit more gold into the favor of CC, right? Because like you pointed out in the last game, Nora, CC has been one of the most promising players onto the side of Team Nemesis. He has that carry potential, but when he's not given the wings, he cannot fly.
And that's the reason why they're paired up CC with this Diadea, which is really strong in the game. You can see like they already forced out the flash on the side of Guiyu.
Yeah, it's definitely one way to get a Dharma scared in the early game is give him some rage against, but it's going to be the dive onto the blue buff there. It goes over to TNX, so even though they weren't invited, they are still going to be keeping that Team Nemesis blue buff in the early game. I mean, they are able to help themselves to a little bit more camp, so why not? If you're already in the enemy jungle, why not slow down the Jing while she's there?
I mean, like, I do like the way how Musunki is doing those early invasions, because we mentioned about both Musunki and TNX are known for their assassins, but actually throughout the journey that they played so far in KWC, it's their first time to picking up assassins, right?
Yes.
TNX Jin is really entertaining to see play with it, but both of the junglers actually played more tanks so far in KWC, so that's why I'm so thrilled to see them to play like Pei and also Jin contest each other.
Absolutely. I mean, Musang King loves to play the Ogryn, right? Like, he's probably been the player the most within the group stage to pick up the Ogryn pick into the jungle, but he's synonymous. Synonymous with Musang King is Ogryn. But we look at the bot side of the map here. Obviously, Baichi started against Achano. It puts Baichi at a bit of a disadvantage to actually get the Phoenix down bot side, right?
Yeah, but that's something to do with the balance on the map, right? If you feel like a deficit at the bottom, which also means you're gonna be more aggressive on the top side of the map.
Yes.
So Nemesis just keep pressing in on the top.
Keep putting pressure, and there's the pressure. The tip for tat going on between L and Zhe, right? Just CC after CC, a little bit of blow there as well. But level 3 goes off the Geekay support quicker than the rest. He gets a CC knock up here onto TNX. He stops the TP as well.
Yeah.
Now we have to burn out the bit of Mirage as well. We need to see a little bit of a stop show here onto TNX. Or First Blood could go over to the side of Team Nemesis, but it's going to be Guiyu tasked with that inevitable defeat. And it goes over to CC. Jill gets the kill onto Zhe as well. 2-for-1 trade for Team Nemesis.
It began with a 3 versus 3, but just check the mobility that Nemesis has, right? CC just play around with it, and also TNX Jin just shine out and gave them a 2-1 trade.
Well, I mean, it looked frightful for Team Nemesis, right? If I was in that position, I honestly thought the TNX was going to get pinned. It was going to be difficult because he not only got hit by the Liam Poe, he got hit by the Lorian, right? That's a lot of time to be taken in a CC'd state of mind.
But by his mechanics and also his ulti allowing him to do some pushback. And Geekay trying to, you know, make some consolation efforts, so they're just focusing on pushing in the mid lane. But still, it's going to be a problem that how they're going to deal with CC using this early in such an early time.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just kind of like throwing the parasol to a safe distance, trying to just get that pressure on as well. I feel like he's playing the early very, very well in that regard, rather than playing it aggressively at this moment in time, because there's so much catch potential here on the side of Geekay Esports.
So Geekay, instead of, you know, just trying to confront Nemesis on the top, they're trying to rotate more, just let Guiyu to play defensively. So does Baichi did at the bottom, right? Just sometimes you need to make sacrifice, right, for your top laner.
Exactly. For the greater good here of either of these two teams, the Clash lane is not having the hardest and the easiest game so far, but the Tyrant does go over to the side of Geekay Esports. So already start to see that difficulty translating into a result when able to contest that Azure Golem like they wanted. TNX finally gets that one for himself.
Yeah, I mean, beyond this Tyrant given to Geekay, it's more like Musangi's playstyle.
Yes, Musang. Exactly. YU has to flash out of here. It's a 3-man dive here, potentially. The immobilization. This is why you go for the Diadea. It's those fast rotations, those single pickups that you can have here with such immense burst damage, followed up by the Ali and the Angela.
Yeah, not even mentioned to those burst of damage that they had. So actually, they are making trades. You can see Nemesis, they prioritize CC a lot, just play around him, just trying to push him forward at the top lane. But as for Geekay, they actually make a lot of sacrifices on this Wei, but they also take down the tier 1 tower at the bottom. So like fair trade they're making right now.
It is a fair trade. I would honestly say that I think Geekay's part of the deal was probably a little bit more promising. I would like to be on their end, because if you look at it, the only way that rate of interest comes back for Team Nemesis is if CC gets the game that he wants, right?
Yeah.
Like, we need to see the return of interest here on CC's early pick.
So that's the reason why they're giving CC this red buff, and also like instead of the name CC, but also the CC control on the side of Nemesis. We mentioned that it's sufficient enough for them to do so they can get the vision control.
Is this going to be a sufficient play here for the side of Team Nemesis as they try to push down that mid lane? Tufts, as the tank gets melted down, they don't get the T1 in the mid lane, but Geekay once again transitioning structural damage onto the side of Team Nemesis. Opening up them side lanes is just as important as that mid.
I do like the way how Geekay is trying to equalize the goal difference and also the vision difference, because they know that it's going to be uncontested against this CC in this kind of certain stage. So instead, they're trying to push forward in the mid lane and also rotate channel a lot. They're trying to prioritize Gem's farming pace.
Yeah, and no one's caught out Gem just yet, right? Obviously, the pressure was there for Baichi to kind of just like soak that damage, but there it is. CC has to use the Parasol dance there. It's going to be caught out. It's going to be the double man levitation there for Geekay Esports. CC falls. L as well. Tough is looking to follow themselves on the River of Sticks. He gets taken down. 3-0 trade here for Geekay Esports.
I mean, it seems like Nemesis is going to be a little bit overcommitted. Check out the ulti, right? Get in, but check CC's like positioning. He was knocked out by Shizen's Lorien.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely the interest, or at least the given over to the side of CC hasn't quite come into fruition here for the side of Nemesis, right? We were putting in our stocks into this pick, and then to be put into a position like that really just mitigates many kind of that comeback potential here for him.
And that's the discipline that we always mentioned in game, right? Once you win the upper hand, how you're gonna stabilize yourself. It seems like after they got the Tyrant, they're just gonna be a little bit overcommitted and to be a little bit reckless. But speak to Geekay, they're just, you know, play defensively but effectively.
Yeah, they're playing everything within their hands, right? They're not kind of... to be honest, Geekay should be the ones playing aggressively, like you were saying, Nora, because they have the Tyrant buff. But you see it here, Nemesis is like, well, how can we overcome this Tyrant buff with how many seconds are remaining? Let's try and take a team fight. And I feel like that's the worst kind of situation to put yourself in, especially when you're behind in any kind of game state. Structure-wise, we see the CC here onto TNX after he brings out that mirror domain. So the ulti for Jinx has been used.
I mean, like, in that case, I do want to highlight Musangi's playstyle, right? Because of his pathing, he's not only doing those early invasions, trying to harass TNX a lot, but also distracting Nemesis, pushing strategy on the top. You know, he's buying a lot of time for himself and also his teammate.
Absolutely. He's playing the paint very well, right? And we expected nothing less, because this is Musang King. We know he is one of the best jungle players within Honor of Kings Esports Global, but there it is. We see a huge transport here for TNX into the mid lane. Forcing the flash out here for Lorien. He overcommits. They need to get that T1 to make that play worthwhile, but Tufts falls. There is no minion waves to get the result that they want. L has to flash. Use the art link to stay safe.
It was Nemesis trying to make some trouble against Geekay, but it's Geekay again making a nice counter attack and pushing back.
Yeah, no, you saw the aggression, right? Obviously, this replay you saw it's already past the point where TNX made that huge dive with the mirror clone, right? And it was all for that T1 in mid lane. They weren't able to get it, and they lost so much in that means.
I mean, like, TNX, I do like the way how he's showing his aggression, but the thing is that if he's trying to make that tower dive possible, it's gonna be a little bit too much for them to do, so it's gonna be another team fight happening at the bottom right now. It's gonna be the ulti coming out by Baichi, but he's just being isolated, and it's gonna be a double kill because of it to Shizan. It's gonna be a 2-2 trade as a result.
At least TNX got a little bit of something for that one, right? L already overstated that play. He got caught out by Guayu, but then TNX, the lord and savior of the side of Team Nemesis, was able to pick up a double kill at least, but it just means the inevitable still happened. They're still behind in the gold, so they aren't able to kind of get as much of an impact as they would. If this was like a 4-minute mark team fight, it would have been a lot better for them.
And I mean, like, speak of impact. Don't we lost Gem this channel, right? He's farming up in a sneaky way, actually. No one's actually putting Gem on the spotlight, but, you know, in the late game, Channel's definitely gonna win the upper hand against Ollie. So that's the thing for Geekay.
Yeah, absolutely. Chano, great counter against the Ollie there, just in terms of obviously the way the kit works. But now, obviously, Tyrant, Overlord, both up, both empowered here. TNX is kind of being left like baby in the corner. He gets the Overlord for his team, but it's going to be that Tremor Smash into the backline here. Maybe massive impact, maybe irreparable here for Team Nemesis. They get 3 men, 1 more on the run. Jill has to use the cover of the brushes, but Guayu, he comes in, claims the kill, and that is going to be a 4-0 trade for Geekay.
I mean, 4-0 trade with such a clean movement that they did. You can see the confidence right now they are, right? Play around this Gem, the fully scaled up channel with this red buff. Everyone just prioritizing his satin.
His KDA is like a 404 computer error, right? It's making Team Nemesis crash out at this moment in time. But you look at Mustang King's itemization as well, right? The Pure Sky, he's looking to just keep himself alive a little bit longer within these team fights. Because if you look at Geekay's actual draft, there's not a lot of sustainability in terms of like a healer or anything like that.
And also we mentioned about how important like CC and also the CC control matters on the side of Nemesis. So Pure Sky made by Mustang King, allowing him to just, you know, eat that burst out damage up for the initiation.
Yeah, the initial damage, he's able to survive that first wave, which just means it's a little bit more easier for them, right? Because normally sometimes Pei dives in, he gets caught out, you're already at that disadvantage. But speaking of disadvantages right now, not only in the damage dealt, but in the minion wave here, top side of the map, Jing gets taken out. Jill forcing the flash, CC immunity is not going to keep you safe from the damage too. For Geekay Esports goes this time.
2 games already been taken by Geekay in their hand, full of composure. That's what we saw in game 2. Even though they faced a little bit of trouble on the top side of the map, and as you can see, Guayu just played defensively and they turn into another strategy. Try to figure it out. It's gonna be Mustang King's Pei passing in such a swift but diverse way, and also prioritizing channel gems, farming pace, allowing them to have such a secured late gameplay.
You put it beautifully there, Nora. Obviously, they have to figure out the draft at the BP, but that's only the first part of the equation. The second part is, what are they going to do with these picks? How are they going to use them? Are they going to basically build a Pei into fall damage, or like we saw there, use him into a more sustainable front line just to be able to survive that first initial engage there? But looking through these highlights, I mean, it looked like it was going to go into the favor of Nemesis. They were able to pick up 2 kills in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, like the lane swap and also the skirmishes that they made in the game, it was so decent. But check this one, right? Around 6 minutes after they win the upper hand, it's gonna be like a little bit overcommitted and being reckless to commit that mistake, and which allowing Geekay to ball them more time and just push back.
Yeah, I think this goes back to obviously the story, or at least the ethos of these teams that needs to be is discipline and also decisiveness. But to be more decisive, we're gonna get this breakdown here from the panelists. So Rain Day, take it away.
Thanks, Blam. Thanks, Nora. Call on game 2 goes the way of Geekay Esports yet again. And now we are facing a 2-game limit. They cannot go more than that in terms of losses. Otherwise, they will be packing their bags, heading to the airport, and getting their key crushed on the side of Nemesis. But still, a lot to fight for. Glory on the other side of it. That trophy there in the middle of the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet, as we welcome you back to the panel here to break down what we just saw. Rain Day, Isaac, Sagi. He's got some stuff ready for us in a moment, but Isaac, takeaways from just the initial 2 games in a row that GK have found the answer to Nemesis.
I like the way that Nemesis plays, but the decisions in some moments are a little bit shaky. And that is why it allows just Geekay just to turn things around. Geekay, they're down in the beginning of the game. They take some kills, like where you completely targeted over there for Team Nemesis, which was a good strategy, but just Musang King, how good of a jungler he is. In the moment that Guayu is just falling over there, he decides, you know what, I'm gonna go and take the blue buff, comes in, takes Jing's blue buff, takes that. Then after that, the next movement, he has a free Tyrant because Jing needs to go and protect their new blue buff.
It's about knowing the timers, right?
Little details, man.
Correct.
Little details.
Like all the map details, information ingrained towards your brain. How long does it take to respawn the timers on the buffs or the little camps? Pro players, they know it in their brain, and every time they do, they will always track your buffs and they will make you play. And in that early game, control, yes, by Zero and L towards the silent on Guayu, but in the mid game, when Musang King Shisan on online, they keep finding momentum after momentum, giving so much room for Gem on that channel to scale towards that late game.
The best thing about a best of 7 is you do get the response. And unlike a best of 3 where this would have been done, and we've seen this before, GK won against Nemesis in a best of 3. Nemesis now have another chance. And they get to say, okay, this has happened before. The last time we took it to a long game, the longest game of the tournament in 28 minutes. But now we have at least 2 more games to go. So it's not over for them. But we need to start looking at, again, what is working for GK so well, but also what can Nemesis do? What are those tweaks that you mentioned, the little mistakes that they need to impact?
It's just those little details. I do believe that their openers are really good. Their openers are really nice. I like the way that they play the first 3 minutes. They're solid. They're playing to their game, to their strat. But then after that, when you need to start fighting for the Tyrants, set up your ways better. Your positioning needs to be a little bit better. How Tubbs is going to initiate. If Tubbs decides to jump in, can we communicate it with everyone else in a better way? Because GK, they have been preparing for this such a long time. They know exactly that even if they're down 1 or 2 steps, they can still just leap in back into the game.
And I'm sorry that I'm forgetting exactly who it was. It was one of our losers in the exit interviews of MIBR Lows, or it was Blacklist International, who took ownership of the fact that, I think it was actually Blacklist International.
Blacklist Just G.
And it was saying that I took ownership of maybe being a little bit too hasty with my choice. And I'm taking that as a learning opportunity. Sagi, we'll see if, especially as looking at what you can point out, how Nemesis can turn this around.
All right, let's bring up the telestrator real quick right now. I want you guys to take a look at this play that coming in for the side dominated by Team Nemesis. Just too hasty. They hold the lead. Similar to game 1, they have the goal lead, they have the structure, but when it comes down to small skirmishes, big team fights, it's just not in their groove where they are desync compared to Geekay.
Of course, like that. I think that this fight is where everything just falls apart, right? Because they had a nice advantage right over there. They jump in a little bit too deep. They want to try to get a kill that they do not need in that moment. In that moment, they were still like pretty level, man. Like it's totally fine. Like you have a Jing, you have a CC on the early. Like you just need a little bit more time, a little bit more items, but then you drop the ball there, snowball all the way.
Now take a look at this screenshot real quick. Guayu managed to survive that fight. They lose 3. 3 kills are fine, but when you lose mid lane towers, side lane towers without trading any single kill, that's a big blow to your economy going in towards that late game here, which we'll bring up this upcoming clip. Yes, it's the same thing. You're trading kills, but your jungle, which is right here. Take a look at these little quadrants here. This is still available coming in for the counter invade. So even if you make it an even trade, it's still going to be a good trade-off for the side of Geekay.
It's not even if you are going to lose your resources after that. It might be just even in terms of like the kills or something like this. Like, okay, we made it 2-2, we made it a 1-1, but then after that, your blue buff, your red buff, your whole jungle is open for your opponents.
So they're getting more than they're giving.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And with that snowball coming in mind. You start to see team fights like these few moments, right? Yeah, it's a good initiation coming in from the side of Nemesis, trying to trade the objective on the Shadow Overlord. But they're too slow, and when that formation has already been shattered, Zerg comes in towards the backline here, finds a beautiful knock-up in, and as of this point, there's no one coming in playing for Gem, there's no one coming in playing from the side of CC, and it's all burning down one member after another, and this game, in the later parts of the stage, goes in cleanly for the side of Geekay.
In Chinese, there is an expression when something just explodes and then you know that the game is gone, it's just trala. when that just happened, I was just telling the side, you know what, trala.
Direct translation, it means kaboom.
Kaboom.
Kaboom, you're gone.
And so that seems to be the way that this game has gone. There have been a little moment here and there where Nemesis could have played or approached it a little more disciplined, less hasty,
correct,
or a little bit more in sync, one of the words that you mentioned as well, and maybe stayed in it. But they have made those moments, they haven't taken advantage of those moments. GK have, and then it's gone, how do you say?
Chala.
Chala?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta go down.
So at the end of the day, the conversation has to turn to what does this next draft behold? Because we're going deeper and deeper. We've seen a few swaps here and there. I love GK still have strong mid lanes. They still have strong supports. I mean, the Lorian we've seen quite often in this meta, and also huge for team fighting as well. That lift up.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
I mean, so good. And that has been a part of our best of threes. But now we get to see what's going to be a part of our best of sevens. What comes up? What can we start thinking about, guys?
And I think that this is the beautiful part about the global ban pick, right? Yeah. As we move into game 3, then you need to start thinking, everything that I was protecting myself before, everything that I had already banned before, I cannot just keep banning it right now anymore. In some moment after game 3, game 4, you need to start allowing strong heroes to your opponents, and that's why you need to be protecting some of the hero picks.
Juan Yu is kind of a big clash laner.
Of course, still
we
available.
haven't seen yet, and still available for both teams.
I think it's gonna be increasing popularity, especially when it comes down to more of these counters being not available here. So coming in towards game 3, game 4 draft in the best of 7 series is vastly different compared to a BO3. And if you're a team Nemesis, all cards must be shown right now. If you're not showing it and you're going into game 3 with another L, you might be bowing out the tournament at top 8.
You basically can't do that, right? You have to almost treat this like this is the knockout game, right?
Of course, of course. It's very difficult to come back from a 3-0.
Right.
If you allow the other team just to take 3, I think that that's going to be done. I do believe that right now, as we start thinking about the new picks, what is going to happen, what is going to be showing up, I am looking for a Mai Shiranui over here in this one.
Oh, Sagi? Well, I think Mai Shiranui is going to be an interesting one, as both mid laners love to be making those insane plays across the gorge. But Rain Day, why don't we pass it over to the casters to find out?
Let's do it. Blam, Nora, what do you guys think?
I mean, there's a lot of emotion going on right now as well, right? Obviously, for the MKL fans, they are in elation. They are 2-0 up, whereas the IKL representatives, obviously, at the venue or online, are definitely feeling the burn here, Nora. I mean, we are at the victim of the global ban pick right now, and there is a lot of picks that have been taken off the board for both of these two teams. I suppose the question is, who's going to be better in the long run?
Well, I feel like due to the draft, it's more about the mindset, actually. You can see like Geekay with these kind of advantage, they can go whatever draft they want. But as for Nemesis, just like you said, right? Pretty expensive heroes that they used in the previous matchup. So this time, I would say it will be more available for them to take a Byron pick or a Guan Yu pick on the top instead of like Bai Qi or Dam or those like Miracle Maker or Chance Seeker heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe something that's going to set up the plays for somebody else to take over the reins, right? But for the side of Geekay Esports, they have the Ali being picked up here as well as the Annette. So they're running through these AOV heroes, right? Like the only one left for them to play maybe in game 4 for Guan Yu would be the Florentino.
And I do like the Annette pick, you know, allowing a lot of things happen during the team fight, and also this early guaranteeing themselves a winning lane at the bottom. And on the side of Nemesis, this time they are trying to play safe but strong. I really like the draft, right? It's really solid. You just poke like double warriors for your composition, also like double tanks that you can see on the side of Nemesis. Really well-rounded.
This was the thing we were alluding to in the last game. We're seeing Mustang King pick up the Orgrin. So actually we got the triple A here for the side of Geekay Esports. Annette, Arlie, and Orgrin. So Mustang King gets one of his big picks. Gem has actually had a stellar performance before on the Arlie pick as well, historically. But then we look towards, obviously, the banning part. So the next part is obviously taking those counters away from Orgrin, right? The Agudo and the Luna.
And the reason for that is because they try to highlight Musanking in this game 3 for their precious jungler, because when you're facing against those double warrior or like tanks on the side of Nemesis, Ogren can be the most decent pick towards all 3 heroes right now be picked by Nemesis.
Yeah, I like the Banner of the Devourer here as well, right? Because when you have something like the raid boss, like the Ogre, and have going for that like dual marksman comp is very kind of like fatal here, right? Like you're just able to drive, force a huge wedge onto the side of Team Nemesis and just do so much damage. But instead, it's the Guan Yu pick here that we see up for Geekay Esports. The one that the panel was like, hey, who's going to go for it first?
I feel like the responsibility that Guan Yu this time in Game 3 need to take is not only about doing the laning, but also harass a lot during the team fight. There's no need for Guan Yu to step in and aiming for the backlaner. Instead, the only thing that he needs to do is try to make threat happen, and that's enough. Just play in a more psychological way.
Yeah, exactly. You put it in a good term there, psychological. Like, if you don't know where the Guan Yu is, you're kind of just like, ugh, like, where's he going to go
you're going to hold it.
Yeah, in a moment's notice, he could be here and we could all be crying. But we're actually seeing the second Hino for this entire tournament. The only other player that's played this hero is Shishan, and that was in the group stage. But now Nemesis is like, okay, let's try and slow down the barrage of those structural damages, which obviously using the Fate Rewind here for Hino's ultimate, you're able, if you use it correctly, is bring those structures back up.
I mean, you know, like the strength that we can see on the side of Nemesis is solid enough. Or just give me the kind of feeling that, is it like over solid? Because, you know, it's not that mobile, right? And also, you might be kind of kite or baited by Geekay in this game. And also, how you're going to deal with a split push that might came out on the side of Geekay. So it's all about the drop and also the execution, that how you're going to deal with such a strong but muscular composition aside of Nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have a solid front line. They have the poke potential as well as the burst potential here from the Chicha. So for me, yes, taking a lot of the brunt of that damage is gonna be Musanking, but it's all about that early game, right? If he can kind of start the scaling on this pick a lot quicker, it's gonna be a lot harder for Team Nemesis to actually run him down.
But I mean, this is going to be Game 3, and Geekay 1 game away from the match point, but well, Nemesis allowing that happen, or using this kind of well-rounded composition to make a pushback.
I mean, it'd be a heck of a statement here for Team Nemesis if they're able to get a victory against Musanking and Guan Yu on these huge 2 picks, the Ogren and the Guan Yu. A lot of focus has been put onto them ones, but the Xia here pick. The Xia pick into the mid lane for Shishan, obviously good anti-tank potential for the damage reduction using that second skill. But also kind of amplifying somebody's late game earlier on.
Because he can upgrade this early to level 15, level 20 after this. But still, I mean, like this game, a lot of potential play can be seen from Musanking. I do want to highlight this Ogre because there are 2 ways to build up your items, and this way he might go for some more like damage items instead of to be more tanky.
Okay, so he wants to be the carry again. He got the thirst for blood in the last game, play in the pay. So now he wants to go for the carry potential on the Ogre here rather than going for that raid boss, going for the Giant's Grip instead. But there, we're just seeing it once again back to kind of like vanilla HOK gameplay. Bot side of the map just going to try and contest the Phoenix here. We feel like a good game state's been built here for Team Nemesis.
Yeah, because of the tankiness that we can see on the side of Nemesis, allowing them to secure the river side. So the rotation will be very smooth. But only like the depth, will they be available to do it in the mid game?
Yeah, that's the only time will tell, right? Obviously, if time will tell, we can see that Hino can reverse that time. He can reverse the damage for his team and himself here. So, but the deadliness here for me is Hino. If you can land 1 scepter, then that's where the damage starts to build up, right? But if you can't land that poke, it becomes a little bit of a, I don't know, like a non-starter pick here, you know?
So, if they want to do so, they definitely will highlight their mid lane this time, because if they just fix the spot in the mid lane, you can see like the vision is quite secure, right? Everything just being open very wildly on the side of Nemesis.
Yeah, they're not looking to put the stops here anytime soon for Geekay Esports. A lot of pressure into the mid lane, just making sure that Hino's not having the freedom to roam like we've been seeing in the early parts already. That 3-2 minutes down to the bot side, trying to put pressure onto Gem, just trying to out-poke the Arlie.
So how they're gonna start their snowballing is that Nemesis need to secure the turret around the 4 minutes mark, and after that get early invasion into Musangking's jungle. That's the only way that they're gonna stop Musangking for those potential plays.
But you think Ying's the pick to do that, right? Like, can Ying actually get into the jungle and do that kind of irreparable damage in terms of the tempo upset for the Ogre?
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a potential play, and at the same time, it seems to me that because it's gonna be a little bit hard for them to target early during the team fight, but Ying can do the job, so they just go for the in at the last pick.
Yeah, and I feel like for me, if TNX kind of overcommits here, we know Xishan is able to actually land those trick shots, so even if the Ying gets in there, she's gonna be a little bit too slow to get out of that team fight, you know? Like, that for me is where my eyes are going to be in these team fights.
But still, like, speak of the power pike both composition has, Geekay can definitely allow...
Forcing out the unbridled outburst. 3-4 minutes is what you want to be doing when you're against a Zhang Fei, but what you don't want to be doing is letting Gem fall too early on. Musangking as well, looking like he's in trouble, but we are seeing just the sustainability of this pick on his own, just in that team fight.
Not even mention to with this and Nat, just like we said, right? A lot of potential play can be seen by Musangking, but the thing is that how could this Guan Yu coming out behind the Nemesis formation? You know, that's a little bit threatening to them.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely is kind of like a curtail in any kind of progress that they was really hoping for in this. I mean, you saw Xishan's cheeky smile. He was just like, hee, we got the play, you know. He was very excited about that one.
Well, a lot of credit can be given to the top duo on the side of Geekay in that case.
Absolutely. But 4-minute mark right now. Obviously, we saw a big brawl into the mid lane. Not quite going for the Tyrant just yet. You see that Earl is just trying to kind of like offset the potential bait here. He doesn't have the unbridled outburst. Now he does. I feel like if Nemesis are going to go and try and go for this, it's now or never, right?
But I mean, like, they definitely need to secure the Tyrant, but the thing is that after Byron was distracted by the lanes on the top, which you mentioned might be a big problem for Nemesis to deal with in the mid-game, is their pushing strategy. Just, you know, kind of restrict their movement at the bottom.
I feel like what Team Nemesis is doing well in this match, though, is actually putting pressure into these side lanes, right? We're seeing a lot of pressure for Geekay being transitioned here into the mid lane, but bot side, he uses the bridle outburst, but he's going to catch onto none. He pushes front and pulls CC into the T1 territory there. The Stampede is being used by L, but it's being slowed by the Smite as well. Double kill for Musangking, and the Universal Law there, placed down by Xishan, just completely wipes out that minion wave down bot side, but you saw the high note ult, right? It brought the structure back.
I do like the synergy, you know, between Guiyu and also Musangking. As you see the mechanics that Guiyu has using this Guan Yu, you just keep doing those controllabilities and just buy time for Musangking to chase in, because this Ogren has a great ability to do those constant damage, but the thing is that less controllability, little controllability can be seen from this hero.
Yeah. I mean, you saw how annoying the high note's ultimate is there, right? He used it bot side, he used it in mid. Unfortunately, they had enough minion wave to just keep that pressure on down to the top, into the mid and the bot side there. So what was actually repaired is now been taken away forever onto the side of Team Nemesis, because we don't have the Fate Rewind at this moment in time. But where we start to see the things start to bleed out is definitely that gold lead, right? Obviously, it's slowly but surely mounting onto the side of Geekay once again.
It might turn into a gap from now on, because Nemesis will be too busy to deal with all those side lanes.
Exactly. It's a lot of pressure, right? When you're trying to think of, right, how can we stop stemming the bleed within that gold lead? How can we sew our pockets so the gold does not fall out? It's definitely not this way where TNX maybe get caught out. He gets sandwiched between the T2 there on Geekay Esports as they're looking to push another turret. This could be the fastest game of the series, Nora.
I mean, that's quite painful for Nemesis to deal with, and not even mention to the gold gap between both junglers, right? Already, like 2,000 gold lead can be seen, and we hasn't reached 10 minutes mark yet.
No, it's scary. If you're slowly getting out of hand here, it could be irreparable. Let's give it the burst damage onto the back line. Xishan is not going to be the tankiest of heroes here, so beautiful setup here from L, follow up by CC. Now, what needs to be remained here is the exit for Musangking. Oh, he uses the ultimate to keep himself alive. the untargetability there from Sher on the DNS, and then out of nowhere, the silent assassin Guan Yu comes through, turns the tide of the battle. They get a 2-3 trade here, and Gem's still not done. He's looking to claim some more structural damage.
Wow, nice double kill goes over to CC, make some consolation effort, but what a beautiful team fight we just see, right? Musangi, he was taken extremely low. I was thinking like, alright, is he gonna die? But with the ulti, with the sustainability that he has, and also the first skill allowing him to bait a little bit, to kite a little bit, and with the synergy with Guan Yu, this going to step in and just cause a huge threat towards Nemesis and allowing them to do the counterattack.
But you saw that beautifully, that cone damage, just the hone-in missile of the Chicha was really kind of the saving grace, like you were saying there, Nora. Beautiful play, or at least a potential, like, here's what you could have won from Team Nemesis.
And I mean, like, Musangi, how you're gonna stop him, right? We mentioned about the advantage he has against the composition that Nemesis just picked, and also because of the pure mechanics that Musangi has, and also his composure, he just, you know, do a lot of 1v3, 1v4.
I feel like the true potential of a net's come through here. Like, I haven't seen a frightful net yet. Like, I'm still kind of like, when I see it in the draft, I'm scratching my head like, okay, I get the anti-CC properties of this pick, but when you see it in a team fight played like that, you understand why these teams are banning this one out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be really torturing on the side of Nemesis. Zhang Fei tried to make something happen, but Guan Yu just getting in again. Musangi again being taken extremely low, but makes the miracle continuing.
There he is. The continuation of the miracle does come through there. CC, they know the threat of this Chicha, so they take it out early part of the team fight. They take out L, and now they are looking just to keep putting the pressure on into the enemy jungle. They have minion wave into the mid, freeing up the top side here as well. And this could be a push for the first T3 of this game number 3 there. Oh my goodness! You lay down the law, you get the kill. That is going to be Shishan picking that one up onto T and X, and just before the 10-minute mark, even if they have to go for the Overlord or the Tyrant, it's still going to be too much for Nemesis.
And there's minions on the top, trying to take down several HP bar on the high ground tower. Everything just went totally in control on the side of Geekay. And just check Musangi's KDA, 604, which makes him godlike, and also he's got like 100% of the killing participants.
He is the guy, right? Like, he's like, okay, we're not going out unless Musang King is here into these team fights, because he's stacking up the kills, the assists, just not the deaths, and that's the most frustrating part here for Team Nemesis.
And with the red buff granted to Gem, again, Gem being out, and just got a really nice damage out upon TNX. TNX is being so squishy right now.
Very, very squishy. You kind of seen the dismantling of the Ying, right? I feel like it's all down to the fact that they're scared of Shishan's damage reduction, which makes the Ying squishier, just not naturally, but unnaturally because of this draft.
And because of the minions, it seems like Geekay trying to accelerate their pace. Heino breakouts LT saving his high ground tower, but how they're gonna save their team fight's gonna be in that! Flash in, and LT in got such a nice insta kill about DNX.
Flash having to be used there by Tubbs. We know where the acceleration has gone from Shishan. It's gone over to Musang King. He has hit that level 16. So now that damage from the Augurin, like we was talking about, with this itemization, is going to be even more frightful. But into the backline, it's going to be Guan Yu. It's still down one member onto the side of Team Nemesis. Once again, the runway has been lit. And there it is, the damage over time, thanks to the Zia pick.
I feel like it's too much for Nemesis to contest Geekay in this kind of gold deficit, right? It's already reaching over like 10,000 gold deficit. How are you gonna eat all those damage up? Not even mention to this god-like Musang King's Augurin.
Yeah, I feel like 10k is a little bit too far, right? Unless we get another 28-minute game.
Yeah.
But at the game state that Team Nemesis is at now, I feel like that is a very unlikely situation to be had.
And also, like, the only way to deal with Augurin different in game is that the burst out damage is out there, but as we scrutinize Nemesis composition, there's no burst out damage can be seen.
Look at that number, 130k damage from Musang King. That is absolutely insane.
And it's an Ogryn.
Yeah. An Ogryn at 12 minutes. Like normally that's like 30 minutes, 28-minute game, but now we're seeing here the potential push here, the nail in the coffin for the side of Team Nemesis as they may be losing down into the match point, but the unbridled airburst from L is going to be enough to deter them away, but for how long? L gets hit by the Universal Law. Chicha here, CC's having to make the plays. They have to clear the minion wave topside, and they're able to do it, but Levitation, he gets the knockdown onto Tops.
And there's still minions on their way. Depends on Geekay whether they're trying to close out the game, gaining the match point. Musang King getting 1v4 and sending in all those minions, break out the item and buying them more time. Legendary it is, and it's gonna be game 3 goes over to Geekay Esports.
Wow. That is the fastest game of the series just far before Geekay Esports get themselves to game point. They are literally one game away before they are crowned the first semi-finalist of KWC 2026. But my oh my, what a frightful team comp from Geekay.
And I mean like terrific execution. That's what we're gonna say about their playstyle, right?
Yes.
We mentioned about what kind of advantage that Musang King can get by using this Ogryn, but have it, use it, or play it, it's totally different thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Sometimes you can pick the Ogryn up, you can be completely underwhelmed because the enemy team is able to put the pressure on in the early game, stem that kind of scaling, that tempo that you're trying to build here for the Ogryn. But you're going to be seeing it in these gameplays here. These replays are really going to show you the pairing of the Ogryn, of the Annette as well. I feel like Annette in this comp made the whole difference with that ultimate.
I totally agree with you. I mean, in the early game, I do like the synergy between Guiyu and also Musang King. But after that, from around like 8 minutes, it's all to like Annette with this Ogryn in the front.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see more of a fun sort of like happiness on the side of Geekay on stage, whereas Team Nemesis are kind of like scratching their heads mid-game like, this draft really isn't it. It's not really been given the green light go that we really wanted here. And why did we give over the Ogryn and the Guan Yu at the 3rd game within the best of 7?
Yeah, and not even mentioned too, they suffered a lot in this game 3, right? Match point goes over to Geekay. And if they want to make it, they need to have at least the ultimate battle.
Yes.
Which means you need to have 3 victories in a row aligned to do so.
And that's very exhausting, but we're going to take a bit of a break because we're exhausted before seeing all that gameplay. So let's give a break over to ourselves, and Rain Day can take that one away.
Thank you, Blam and Nora. That trophy in the middle of the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet is what these teams stand to win. And with one game, it will be Geekay Esports who march a little bit further on their way towards their ultimate destination here in Paris, France. Welcome back. My name is Rain Day. I'm joined by Isaac and Sagi here on the panel to break down that action. But after 3, gentlemen, we're starting to lose a bit of traction for those who are thinking Nemesis can pull this one back. What we're looking at now is Nemesis having to win 4 games in a row against a team that after 6 games of playing, they have not beaten.
They have not lost yet. Like Geekay right now in the whole KWC 2026 just has not lost a game. And that is surprising, man, because the top level competition of in here, like when you came over here already to quarterfinals, you're expecting that it's going to become shorter and shorter, the distances in between the players and in between the teams. But this game 3, it was the biggest gap that we have seen in between.
Is this draft component, Sagi, before we dial in, is this more draft component as somebody who's played at a high level, or is this more just the momentum and energy of the competition? Because both of these teams have kind of gone toe-to-toe. You've done it enough. You face the same opponent, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose, you lose. Now you start do you start to think about that?
It definitely gets into your mind, right? Because after, like what you mentioned, 5 games in a row, you're still unable to find a crack in the window against Geekay Esports despite the 28-minute game back in group stage. You gotta be wondering, what does it take to actually win? Because this draft itself, yes, it might not be the greatest, but it is the Nemesis style that we talk about.
You talked about early game. How important was that? You said the 8 to 10 minute mark. Why that for Nemesis?
I'm telling you, I do believe that in this exact game, Geekay Esports was the first team in making the mistake because they come in very early to initiate a fight over there in the mid lane that they cannot completely capitalize out of, and then they gave an advantage to Team Nemesis. Same things that we have been talking about, that do not make the mistake because the other team is going to take control. But the problem is that Geekay just bounces back immediately. It's just that, like, they make the mistake, bounce back 30 seconds, the Ogren is already gigantic.
And it's also how they realistically expand that goalie through those little plays, right? Every time we see, oh, Geekay, they lose a fight, but there's no detrimental consequence that actually puts them behind. But every time, if Nemesis makes a mistake, their towers goes down, their mid tower goes bankrupt, and then their jungle just explodes immediately. That really puts the side of Team Nemesis so far behind every single time they lose a team fight compared to the side of Geekay.
I want to dive into some of the new rosters that we've been seeing, especially if we've gone deeper into this tournament. I know you guys were talking about, you and I behind the scenes, the Zia, the late game, and we've seen that twice now, at least while I've been here on this stage with Lenovo Legion Gauntlet. You might have seen it a bit more in groups, but I don't think as much. The Ogren obviously had a big impact as well. We saw that come out just now. Walk me through your thoughts on just these lineups, the drafts, what you're taking away as we get later and later into this, and what these heroes do and bring to their compositions.
All right, whip out the telestrator right now. Let's talk about that picks that you mentioned here. All right, first things first, we check out the first 3 picks here coming in from the side of Nemesis, right? Yato Chicha, Zhang Fei, and Byron. Very clean, very strong, early to mid game, like we talk about. Rain Day did mention that. If you have these 3 heroes, you're looking to win out the laning phase, advance the jungle here. So something that Geekay did really smart. They lock in a self-sufficient early game jungle like the Ogren. Then on the side of Team Nemesis, you're like, man, if I don't win early game, how do I realistically take down this Ogren? Because it's gonna be super difficult if you don't have late game damage. Hence you see the Hano being drafted. You're like, oh, we don't see this Hano a lot, but they're forced to do so. So many of these mid lanes already removed by the global ban pick.
Of course, and then you see the Hano, and then the Hano, because of its mechanics, it just allows you to be able to survive a little bit longer, right? Because of the turrets. As the turrets just fall, the Fate Rewind allows you to bring the turrets back right over there. And that's one of, like, we can see right over there in that video, man. Just you see the HP of the turret coming down, and then immediately Fate Rewind, it just comes up 100%, and that keeps the fight going.
And if you can consistently keep doing this in towards that late game, you can actually stall the game into potentially the 15-minute mark, 20-minute mark, then you can fight for a living chance. But if you take a look at the early game, this specific play coming in from Musang King, yeah, we lost Shisan in towards the early game here. Shisan is down, then take a look at Musang King taking so much damage up to the very end while he paces towards that mid lane. I think he was like, what? In the middle of 5 members coming in for the side of Team Nemesis, he managed to survive.
How does he get out of there, man? Like, that is insane. It's just crazy. Just the ability to do that, and look at how the Guayu comes in from the side.
And as of this point, it's still okay from the side of Team Nemesis. If they're like, okay, we didn't get Musang King, it's fine. But Guayu comes out, soups every single one, gets 4 kills on towards the Arlie and Musang King. As of this point, the early game composition coming in from Team Nemesis, it's over.
And it is gone, man. And I love the Zia pick over here from Geekay Esports as well, because Zia is a hero that can allow you to go over the 15 levels roof that we have over here in the mechanics, right? So through the sanctification, you can actually allow a hero to go over those 15 levels, right, Saki?
So we can get 2 level 25s out here.
Yeah,
sir.
Of course.
If you stall the game long enough, you will definitely head over to level 25, which makes global ban picks so interesting. Like what Isaac was mentioning, like, yeah, we don't really get to see Zia much often, but when it comes down to a game 3, game 4, you start to be thinking like, oh, red side is so valuable because you can hide those niche picks all the way to the end so you can counter draft your opponent, which led to this specific case. Usually, sanctification on towards the Arlie, but due to the fact that Musang King on that Ogren was so dominant, they gave it to the Ogren and he shines so brightly.
They just wanted to finish the game early. They knew that the ball needed to be given to Musang King. They gave the ball to him, and then 12 minutes, we're gone.
Boom. You know, it's sometimes you got a great player say, take the ball, do what you need to do. We'll support you in getting it back and giving it back to you. Musang King doesn't die yet again. Geekay Esports don't lose yet again. One more game, and they're advancing into the semifinals. Before we do that, though, I want to send you to some nice updates on a new EWC Princess Frost skin that could be yours.
is home to the best Honor of Kings players in the world.
Pressure at its peak for AGAL. Everything comes down to their captain.
I love you, family.
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. Let's go. He knows nothing. Let's go!
Tyler 1, you're done.
Raw energy. Half and blow the house down. This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, I'm champion.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Winner go home from now on for Team Nemesis representing the IKL League. And that obviously, it means that one of the IKL representatives in the top 8 would be going home. There's still one more remaining in our second matchup of the day. For Geekay Esports on the other side of things, guys, it is going to be keep the undefeated streak heading into the semifinals, which is a statement for the rest of the tournament bracket here at KWC. Rainday, Isaac, Sagi, before we throw over to our casters for this maybe final game, some final thoughts here as we head into it.
I do believe that as we move into game number 3, I want to see a Princess Frost. I want to see a Liang right over there, because they have been really good picks from Geekay in the previous games. I'm really looking forward to see this one here.
They got that skin, right?
They got that skin, they got that execution here. If you're Geekay, you gotta be feeling that perfect double combination to funnel more gold into, dare I would say, potentially the MVP of the series, Musang King.
He has played so well. This entire Geekay team have played so well. It's starting to become a pretty similar narrative. It's up to Nemesis to change it, to put a crack into it, to somehow disrupt what has been undisruptible, the reign of Geekay Esports. Will it continue, or will Nemesis find themselves for the first time on the board? Let's send it back over to Blam and Nora to kick off our 4th game.
Rainday puts it there beautifully. Can Nemesis blemish the 3-0, or will it be a miss here in this game number 4? Only time will tell. Ban pick on the way. There has been plenty of heroes already been taken up from both sides. That's 15 heroes apiece that aren't available, Nora. It becomes thinner and thinner, and down to the wire is the BP.
And in that case, Nemesis this time, they just pull it out. You know, all cards that you have, you just need to pull it out. You just need one game get back first. But as for Geekay, as we said, so far in KWC, they stayed undefeated. 7 wins in a row right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the blue side, they just go for a safe all-in pick, try to put it in quite a nice way.
I think this is a nice pick to have going into game number 4, right? Like, you normally think, oh gosh, like what's available still left in the farm lane? But the fact is, the all-in is still available here. Means that you're already playing at an advantage for the side of Geekay, because you know that Gem, once again, can be left alone. He can be an independent person, just purely down there, but trying to catch him is going to be this Mai Shiranui and Guan Yu.
The most interesting part is that actually there's a potential Frost and Liang played by Geekay. So that's the reason why Nemesis on the red side this time, they're prioritizing this Mai and also Guan Yu. Try to, you know, a little bit predict what Geekay is going for.
Exactly. They do say it's a 4D chess game, but they're like, you know what? We're not going to give it you. We're going to go for the Lapu-Lapu. We still have that tank in our bank, but we're also going to go for the mid lane Hu1 here. So Shishan going for, again, just more of a utility, right? Zia can do the damage, but here, Hu1, you're looking to just get and catch out, and at least like long range poke the Mai Shiranui, right?
And also, both Loon and also this Yu-Huan allowing them to be untargetable during the team fight, which gonna cause a big trouble towards Guan Yu and also this Mai. So that's how I love the draft that Geekay so far did on the blue side. But due to this Anat, just allowing them, to have a wide open window for them during the team fight for the initiation.
Yep.
So I would say Nemesis, they do need some assassins for their jungler to make sure that they're gonna secure that insta kill.
Exactly, because if Mai gets caught off in the early part of the team fight, it's like, where's the damage going to come from? Guan Yu's not going to be dealing the damage, and Net's definitely not going to be dealing the damage. But this might be the new wombo combo of KWC, right? Like the Annette and Guan Yu combo definitely aids the team fight into your favor. And hey, here's the answer. It's the Aaron.
Aaron. Well, Aaron with Annette at the bottom during the lanings, I do think that they can have a Wailing at the bottom on the side of Nemesis.
Yes.
And the thing is that once Aaron being so immobile and once all his teammates just left him and just dashing in, who's going to protect our link, right? It's going to be all on CC himself.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting last 4 picks here, 4 to 5 picks. I mean, this could either be like Clash Lane, Arthur, Jungle, Umbrosa, but I feel like it's something that Guan Yu plays himself, right? Up into the top, Guan Yu plays himself, sorry. Umbrosa top side, Arthur into the jungle, just giving over that thick front line here for the side of Geekay Esports. Because something about the Umbrosa is they can do a lot quick damage in that lane, but it's giving the doing here for the side of Nemesis.
That's kind of out of expectation, to be honest, which also means they will put CC under the spotlight because all the members and all the heroes that they picked is trying to play around CC, play around Irene this time. But again, being so immobile, how Irene is gonna defend himself by those attacks down by Yu Huan's skill 2 and also Umbrosa dashing in, right? It's gonna cause a big trouble, and also they just need to make sure that CC is going to be really comfortable in this match point.
Absolutely, but I think the thing that I fear the most here is that TNX isn't on the carry pick right now. So it's all going to be down to either the Joel in the farm in the middle lane, or you're looking at trying to see that CC can pick up the reins of being the carry in this game number 4 for them to potentially get a point and basically further this best of 7 into an ultimate battle. But it is going to be Mustang King on the Arthur here. A lot of front line and need to build that anti-heal onto the side of Team Nemesis.
And since this is their match point, Geekay is trying to put it in a more solid way.
Yep. They are trying. The Geekay are definitely like, okay, so let's see what you can do, right? Obviously, it's not typically their best draft here that we have, but Gem does get the Aoin. Generally, a really good self-sustaining marksman down to the bot side here. But still, they're looking to try and take away a few of these camps early on.
Well, I mean, with this Arta gaining those camps and also the vision control, well, goes over to Geekay in the early game. But check the laning. Both side lanes are actually playing head-to-head. Do a lot of H3 trade.
They just love trading, right? That's one thing we've been seeing this entire series. It's just that head-to-head top side of the map. And pointing out here, Jill looking to be very aggressive, trying to put pressure onto Musang King. But Atta's one of those naturally tankier heroes, right? Like, he doesn't need the itemization in that early level to kind of sustain any kind of burst damage.
And because of the diversity that we can see of the hero pools that Geekay has, allowing them to do very well when we're jumping into best of 7.
Yeah, speaking of jumping in, we have Nemesis jumping into the enemy jungle here, trying to contest that Crimson Golem, Shishan, as well as Jet. And we see from the behind here, Musang King looks to try and go in. It goes, and they are saving it here for the side of Geekay. But can Nemesis get out of this jungle? That's the problem here. TNX, once again, on a pick like Dune, you are naturally sustainability there, but it's going to be the CC, the lockdown. Geekay here. The ghost ship has there to be sailing and split apart. And Gel falls. Double kill to Gem.
Oh, Flash, that's what we're going to see in the battlefield. Both teams are actually pulling till the end. Just watch the replay, right? Check the positioning. Actually, for TNX, it's going to be a little bit painful for him to getting out. So many CC control constantly putting on this man. Not even mention to that pushback down by John. He's trying to make some counter attack, but the thing is that burst of damage is out there.
Exactly. You saw how aggressive that was, right? He dives in, the ghost ship comes up, so that means the only means he has the way out is the flash, but then he flashes away just to get away, but then everybody on Geekay is like, no, we've got flash. Let's go in. We claim the kill. And they, more importantly, give over the double kill to Gem. That's scary, because this is a late game hero getting a little bit more gold into his pocket very early.
And you know, it's very interesting that throughout the game so far that Geekay played, right?
Yep.
3 previous games, Gem's also gonna be like stay invisible in the early game, right? He just farm up sneakily.
Yes.
But in the late game, he's gonna be the most shining part, the most stunning players on the stage.
Absolutely. Sneakily growing as well is that Crown Pit vote to the side of Geekay Esports. So we see there's a lot of MKL fans rooting for the boys in this game number 4. We are getting to that last minute before we start to see these neutral objectives get online. We've already been seeing a little bit of contention into the enemy jungle from the side of Team Nemesis, albeit it not going in their favor.
I feel like the first thing first for them is trying to guarantee the vision control, play around TNX Dun. But the thing is that, speaking of that 4-minute mark, is the damage down sufficient? Because you can see like CC actually is doing a lot of 1-1 HP drain at the bottom.
You saw the effort there. CC almost drove that ultimate out of the side of Gem, which would have been fatal for him. Obviously, we are looking to hold that for Naus as well as on the Lapu Lapu. That Rising Tide is going to be a difference maker in these team fights around the neutral objective.
And both teams are actually highlighting different side lanes. Geekay tried to free this Umberosa, preparing for the Tyrant. And as for the mid lane, it's going to be Mike jumping in again. Nice HP trade, but because of the sustainability that Yuhan has, allowing them to push back a little bit more.
Allows them to push back. They wait in this single bush here, but it's going to be a CC here from Shishan on the Q1. Musan King is soaking a lot of that damage, but they've got to be careful here. And Net uses the ultimate. CC's ultimate there, not quite connecting onto him. And now it's going to be Gem using the ultimate, doing a lot of damage onto CC. He has to be driven to the back line. TNX has been left to the walls. The Undying from the Ambrosa. Guan Yu is putting the pressure on, and Gem is getting the results.
I mean, Geekay is destroying Nemesis in this 4-minute mark, being Undying. I mean, Guay just flashing using his ulti. 1 versus 4, can't you believe that?
Absolutely. And I think that's the most perfect part of the conclusion of the 4 minutes. You get the Tyrant, you get the T1 into mid. But you're looking obviously at this replay right now. TNX left in here, hoping that the damage was naturally going to transition onto the Tyrant. But no, the team fight was split. Guayu into the top side. He's putting the pressure on. CC on the errand. The ultimate just did not connect enough.
But I mean, like, the thing is that when you separate it during the team fight, all the individual damage is definitely sufficient on the side of Geekay. But if we check Nemesis composition, mention about how important it is to play around CC's Irene, right?
Yes.
But as we can see, it's going to be a little comfortable for him.
Yes, comfortable position being placed here by She on the Lapu Lapu. He may fall. It's going to be the Guan Yu. Tufts actually saving the day here. Can they get a little bit more from Nemesis? TNX already taking too much damage here from Gem on the Lung. He's able to escape. It's a CC immunity here from L. Guan Yu has to run. He gets poked down. CC has now forced the Infinite Vastness here as well. Gem flies away free.
I mean, it's gonna be CC making those constellation effort happen and just saving his team, buying time for themselves.
Absolutely, buying time, buying space for this Aaron pick. You have to keep her safe. If she gets hit by Shishan's CC there, it's pretty much game over because she's so squishy. But TNX, he's got low health bars, but he knows they're still coming out of the game state of the base here. So he has time just to steal away a few little points to basically bring that goal back into the favor of Nemesis.
I mean, speak of the goal difference, the jungle is quite significant, but due to those farm lanes, it's not that big. But check where you flash in. LT out is going to be a net trying to saving Irene, successfully save his precious marksman.
Yes, Jill with a superhero save there into the backline keeps his marksman alive, but can they get some more? Geekay lose their support as well as their clash lane. Not playing as good as they were in the previous games, but like you were saying, if it's all splintered apart here, Geekay generally fall apart in these team fights. slash over the wall. CC claims another kill.
That's what we're talking about, right? With 100% killing participants, CC is being the hero on the side of Nemesis. It feels like finally they realized how they're gonna operate the whole game.
It's like TNX has to be the punching bag, but for him to be a successful punching bag is they need to get these turrets as well. Like we saw in the Tyrant Pit, there was no follow-up, but now the follow-ups are coming through here from Nemesis. I feel like it's a good strat.
And also, the way how they're gonna, take their own responsibilities, that no more initiation can be seen, right? Everyone just trying to play in a more defensive way, but effectively, just trying to protect CC's positioning. That's a priority.
It is a priority indeed. Keeping CC alive, saving Private CC. But onto the side of Geekay, if you look at their draft, it's like it does scale a lot better than Nemesis, right? So if they can keep into the late game, that's where we got to start to see the worry here for Nemesis.
But the thing is that it feels like Geekay is too in to take CC down.
Speaking of which, Tufts, he does fall to the wolves, but at what cost? They aren't able to translate it into anything onto the side of Team Nemesis.
I mean, like, nice 0-1 trade, right? Take that Guan Yu down and try to find some window opening for them.
Exactly. That space created, the Guan Yu, has been taken off the gorge for another 12 seconds. So I feel like Geekay just need to use this moment to just get some more resources, right? Secure their Azure, secure their Crimson Golem from Gem.
Wow, they really need to slow down even more. As you said, right, late game is definitely in favor of Geekay. So this time around 8 minutes, it's gonna be some skirmishes happening around, testing, baiting, LT in, 10x, just make sure that CC is really comfortable.
Yeah, the moving target, Shishan, he used his ultimate there just to keep himself alive, but he's currently actually not died once, so he's using Hue 1 space creation there very, very well. They're gonna have to give up the Tyrant. If they overcommit to this one and make an indecisive play, it could have all fell apart there for Geekay.
Yeah, so the vision matters a lot. 10x make sure that he's gonna be the best bodyguard to our reign.
Exactly, bodyguard potential here from TNX, just soaking up a lot of that damage, which would necessarily translate onto CC if he was not there.
And I mean, like, speak of Geekay, how they're gonna buy time for themselves is that do a lot of split push, right? Just check waist positioning, always be on the side lane, and also for Gem, the priority for him is to have 3 items at least, but as we can see, still on his way, 300 more gold to go, and that's gonna be the time for Gem to do the burst out damage.
Exactly, he's looking to build the Daybreaker, right? That great, there we go, we call it. It comes out with the supply and demand comes through, but in this brush, they're looking for a setup here. It's gonna be a dive from Moose and King into the back line just to kind of like make sure they're putting the focus here. A lot of damage is needed to take him down. He is melted, but now it's gonna be the case of the rest of Geekay. Can they have the front line that they need? The Undying into the back line. You saw the effort from Guan Yu to try and get the kill onto CC. It wasn't enough.
My still ambushing 3 members knocked up. It's gonna be killing spree and it's gonna be devastating. Can you believe the ace to Geekay at their match point at 10 minutes mark?
Yes, the first ace within this whole series, right? And it's given over to Nemesis. The team that are behind 3 points are able to get themselves back on the horse within this game number 4. Still, however, getting that Tyrant is definitely where they need to be in this game state. Is just procuring any kind of space they're creating for themselves.
I mean, it's so vital for Nemesis to play so, because they're under 3 games in deficit, but check their coordination. It might be the best so far they played in this best of 7.
Absolutely, definitely a valid effort here for the side of Nemesis. You do see them breaking apart the side of Geekay, and that's a problem. When they're not all there committing, Geekay fall apart.
I mean, like, everyone just make sure that they stay at the same spot, and you can see, like, they're trying to, keep their composure and just stick to the strategy.
Absolutely, sticking to the strategy, sticking to the potential divide here that Guan Yu as well as a net creates for your team. CC's always just sitting behind somebody on the side of Team Nemesis, getting that poke from that first skill and just making sure he's able to actually get the burst damage come through. It's always going to be TNX pulling the trigger there. The wind slash comes through, doesn't connect on anybody but forces out the infinite vastness. Guan Yu is always being man-checked by Tufts.
I mean, like, I do like the ulti from Dun, just do a really nice trade, and another ulti coming in, directly aiming for the Zhao Ying.
Yes, but it's going to be too much damage here from TNX. He gets taken down. Can the health bars of Geekay remain in this one? It's that damage over time. And Net L has been throwing out those first skills so well.
I mean, even a Nat going killing spree, that's very optimistic, goes over to Nemesis.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we went looking at Jill or even CC to be the carry. Maybe L was the underdog here with this one, right? Like you were saying, Nora. 3 kills for your support. That's not normally what the support should be doing.
Exactly. And also, that's something that Geekay really need to slow down, pull themselves together a little bit more, because the priority is that not only take CC down instantly, but also bait some of those, you know, precious skills. For example, the flash from CC or the ulti from Mine.
Exactly. We're getting right about that game state now where the goal difference is becoming a little bit more of a lesser thing, but obviously itemization is still going to be classified in this one. However, Shadow Overlord does go over to the side of Nemesis for now. They're still looking for the right moment to pull the trigger here to summon the Shadow Vanguard. Obviously, mid lane is already been damage dealt. Did they look to put it towards the side lane? Looks to look to making an easy effort top side of the map.
But also, that's going to be some time for Geekay trying to make the pushback happen, because the side lane tower is still standing there. They need to aim it at CC again as usual. Try to test a little bit more Vanguards at the bottom.
Yeah, all hands on deck for the side of Nemesis down to the bot side, whilst the Vanguard looks to push top side of the map here as well. That burst damage from Gem is not quite doing what they thought they would onto TNX now that he has that itemization.
I mean, like, the reason for of that is because almost all of his burst damage was dealt on TNX Dun. That's a problem, right?
Exactly.
All be soaked in by the tanks on the side of Nemesis.
And that's the whole point. I mean, look, if L takes the hit, that's what happens. You lose almost more than your health bar, half of it as well. But then we see Shadow Vanguard here. Second attempt onto the T3, top side of the map, that gets taken down also. We are seeing the potential last front here for the side of Geekay as they are about to lose their blemish-free scoreboard here.
Well, you know, Geekay is definitely on the edge of the game in Game 4. And also, this might be the most painful game that they went for so far in KWC.
Very painful. I mean, 14 minutes, not quite as obviously fast as what they did last game.
Mai and Guan Yu coming
looking
in.
for a stalk onto the back line, forcing out the infinite vastness, but he comes in with an aggressive invade, but he gets caught out. The win slash connects. The Kachu sends the knock up from Joe. Means that Gem gets taken down, as well as they need the minion waves into the bot lane to force this game. Number 4 into the best of 7. Nemesis are not out yet.
Got them 1 game back. I mean, Nemesis, just check it out, right?
Yes.
With 3 games in deficit, can you believe they play so explosively in Game 4? I mean, like, everyone just put themselves together and play around with CC, the most outstanding player so far in KWC on the farm lane. And definitely CC brought the victory, brought the precious 1 point back on the side of Nemesis.
Yeah, absolutely earning his accolades there down bot side of the map. It's going to be CC, but I have to give props over to Jill as well as L. They were getting the kills when it mattered. It didn't matter that it went to the support. What mattered was the impact of these team fights, which is what we're going to be seeing in the replay.
I mean, in the replay, you can see everything just went so out of control from the very first minute, actually. It hasn't been 2 minutes yet, but still a lot of initiation can be done by Jill's Mai, right? And do appreciate Guan Yu and also Mai's performance in this game. They just caused such a great harass towards Geekay.
Yeah, massive upset there for Geekay within that one. They weren't quite sure what to do within those team fights. I mean, for the first, obviously, few minutes, they got that 5 kills on the board over the 1 there. But it seemed like it was going to be their game, but they're not quite written in the stars. So Nemesis takes 1 point. Let's see what Rain Day, Isaac, and Sagi have to think about that one.
Thank you, Blam and Nora. It's going again. We are not done. For many of you who've been watching, maybe thinking that would be the end. Even rookies standing up in the crowd saying, give me another game. I love it as Nemesis find the answer. It took them 5 games, but by the time they were here on the stage facing a potential defeat, looking to book those airport tickets back home, they said, no, you can't crush our key just yet. And now, maybe, guys, we start to see a little bit of hope enter back into the arena.
They just directly canceled their taxi, man.
Yeah.
They canceled the taxi.
Canceled the Uber.
They booked him a car, and they were like, no, hold up.
Wait.
Cancel that.
Yeah.
Cancel that, first of all, because we still want to play a little bit longer. Such a beautiful game, and it was really nice because it showed us what they needed to do. It's just when you analyze like the decisions that Nemesis just made in here, they decided, you know what? Let's put KNX over there on a tank and let's just pass the ball to someone else. And that someone else was Gerald. For me, Gerald was amazing. It was the key to turn things around. Not only giving vision, not only giving initiation, but giving damage as well.
The key play coming in from Gerald that we will be seeing later on, that was the deal breaker coming in for Team Nemesis in finding that comeback moment in towards that late game here. My oh my, I think Gerald, he definitely was feeling it.
And I'm telling you, I was talking to the Chinese casters a couple of days ago, and they were like, Mai Shiranui is like the best mid laner right over there because there's no one that can counter it. It just has burst damage, it has mobility, and in the moment that it initiates in multiple people.
They had a lot more control in general, and all that comes down to a conversation, Saki, between your mid laner, usually your clash laner, and your jungler to help set that tempo. Did you feel that that combination worked well for Nemesis for the first time in the set, finally?
It was just not only well, it was more than well. It's well done, perfectly being executed coming in for the side of Team Nemesis. Gerald coming in on the initial engage, then Top Z comes in with the Guan Yu to sweep everything up. We have a little clip here coming in on the telestrator.
Take a look.
Actually show you here.
King Sagi demands. It's your turn.
Breaker. Yeah, game, team fights, everything was looking good. Team Nemesis and also Geekay, they've been playing back and forth coming in towards these team fights. Take a look at Gerald here. I want you guys to see what he's doing on this Mai Shiranui. He's stealing all the way to this little point here. I know we can't see on the minimap, but he's right here, right now. Yes, the moment that he comes, beautiful 3-man revenge and getting that ace. And as of this point, it's 10 minutes on the gorge. You get all these objectives available, and if they pick this up, they are on track. And what happened next? They just cleaned house easily.
Taking a bit of a playbook of what GK Esports were doing to them, Isaac.
Of course, and I do believe that in here, like not only it was just Nemesis taking advantage of these little plays, but it's just the whole perfect point of like, wow, Geekay has been playing so well. Geekay is just like so unbeatable. It kind of fell apart in this one very easily because they wanted to finish the game too quickly. It was very cool. It was very good for them. The initiation, the whole beginning of the game was really good for them. They give Gem a couple kills. It looks pristine. The Lapu Lapu steps in a little bit too deep. Draw falls, and then it was just 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4 for him. It was a very difficult game for the roamer.
I think all in all, in the end, right, it really falls down to how you structure your drafts. And I would say that this is the most Nemesis draft that we have seen throughout the entire course of the tournament. Strong engage coming in from the side of mid lane and also clash lane, enabling brawls and team fights. And with the help of the individual play coming in from Gerald on that Mai Shiranui,
of course,
they are slowly but surely crawling back in towards the series. You can say, yeah, it's 3-1, but you have to start somewhere, and that was a very good start for Team Nemesis.
Yeah, and 3-1 is, again, it's the big picture, but the small picture, the thing that you can control is only your next game. So if you win one game, you know you just got to go and do it again. Then you focus on, all right, how do we do it again? That comes later. They still have to get through this one. Many people at home probably were ready to go take a lunch break and say, okay, I'll come back when the next series starts. I've seen Rain Day enough. However, I think that now, when you look at this one, guys, we have to start saying, okay, what's the tether connecting the success we just saw Nemesis have, their draft, and what they might be able to do in the next game? Because our pool is getting more and more limited. The Guan Yu is going to be out for them as well, which was helped a lot in the clash lane and creating the engagements that allowed Gerald to also combo with that and just be so successful. So how do they do it again, Isaac?
So right now, what we can see is just that both teams are moving away from, well, what happened in this game number 4, it was they moved away from giving the ball to the junglers and they just passed the ball to someone else.
Yeah.
They decided, you know what, let's just put it on the clash laners, on the farm laners. And that is something that we start seeing as we move into game 5. So for Nemesis, it worked really well. Maybe what they want to do is just to put TNX in something of a tankier option for a jungler and just really focus and continue working on what has been working. Putting pressure on Guiyu has just really limited his performances.
It's a very good point, right? First 3 games, we see TNX on the jungle assassin. He has pretty good games, but it's just not something that you can actually hold off Musang King and also Geekay. But when in game 4, he swapped over to the Dune, a classy tanky jungler that has been not so popular but still sturdy, he allowed more room for CC and Jurl to take more control of the game, thus carrying those late segments of teamfights.
I do believe that that might be just the key to open this game.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to move into the next game and we move into game 5 and it's going to be just something like another tanky option right over there. The attack would be available for them as well right over there. It's something for them to explore.
I love these thoughts as well. And for those of you who want to share your own thoughts, I know many of you might just be in the chat typing it out. But if you stream or you want to stream, here's a great opportunity. The EWC Creator Program allows you to get involved into the action and help build the narratives across multiple streams, multiple conversations, which we know are happening all around the world, but you can earn prizes for doing it. The same stuff you're typing in chat, you could be saying online to viewers, building up watch time and earning as you go. So make sure to scan that QR code and join us if you want to get your voice heard in a bigger way for all of EWC, especially here at KWC 2026. All right, guys, heading into it. Now we have our draft coming up in just a moment. I want big picture thoughts. You said maybe a tankier jungle for TNX. You're talking about how they move the ball as well, which I love as footballers coming from that experience. Sagi, where does the ball go here if you're Nemesis? Do you put it back onto TNX? Do you try to make sure that clash lane matchup like the Guan Yu goes in their favor for Tufts? What do you do?
I think you put the ball back onto the side of Jurl's hands.
Okay,
and talking about balls,
yeah,
you know who plays with the orbs coming into Honor of Kings? Lorien. I think if you can give Jurl that Lorien pick, that he had amazing performance back in group stage, that could be the deal breaker in trying to claw back even further towards the series.
And GK played the Lorien already, right? So that was GK. So it is available. So that'll be interesting.
Well, let's wait and see what's going to happen. I do believe that there's plenty of heroes right over there. What Nemesis needs to do is just take it one game at a time. And that's it, just one play at a time, because one mistake is going to end up the game for them.
Hey, Sagi, can I throw to Nora and Blam, or do you want to do it?
Hey, that's your job.
No, do it, Sagi, throw it.
All right, Nora and Blam, you're up. Do bring us towards the pick and bans, and with that sweet, sweet game analysis.
Let's go.
Thank you very much, Sargilicious, for that lovely, delicious pass there. I mean, I don't think we were really expecting to get to this game number 5. But I feel like the point that we make here that Isaac was saying really well was, now, what's the best thing for Team Nemesis is to play it as if it's a best of 1.
Well, I mean, you know, instead of talking about the draft picks, I would say from now on, Nemesis definitely need to ban with that Leon. Because for Geekay suffering from that loss, it's going to be the time for Frost and Leon.
It is absolutely potentially, because I mean, they exhausted the Guan Yu, like you said.
Yeah.
But they still have that Lorien. I feel like Lorien, what we've been looking into the playing stage and group stage, has been a good kind of counter towards it as well, right? Like if you can kind of disrupt both of their ultimates by making them levitate, that's a good thing. But they know that. They ban out the Lorien here for the side of Geekay.
But the thing is that Leon is going to be an open choice, right?
Yep.
And we know that Geekay, how well they played with that Frost and Leon composition. So, what thoughts are in Nemesis' mind right now? Because they already used that Mai, they already used that Guan Yu. So, what kind of else hero that they can pit out to counterattack that potential Leon and Frost combo?
I'm sure they're going to be looking for it here in this draft of game number 5. But the Chano is there, one, and there it is. It was bound to come through the Liang and Princess Frost combo. It's that incredible chain of CC.
I mean, so far, like personally, I would say Geekay played the best Liang and Frost combo in KWC so far that we see, right?
Yep.
And usually they would pair it with another Ogren pick, but since they already use it, so I'm looking for a potential Jin on the side of Musang King.
Ooh.
Here we go!
I think Nora's got
Go.
no, instead of Nash Nostradamus, it's Noradamus. She's seeing into the future. She's picking it. Who wins this one, Nora? Who wins this one? But onto the side of Team Nemesis, they go for a bit more of a cheeky IKL identity, which is the Kwai here into the support role. And then obviously we have Joel going for the Xiao Xiao as well. A little bit more poke potential here onto the side of Team Nemesis. But definitely the Jink here is a scary one, especially encompassing all that CC.
Yeah, exactly. And also allowing them to do some insta-kill, not only on Channel, but also on Xiao Xiao. But I do like the way how they're pivoting the point of both teams, you know, because we highlight the marksman, the jungler all the time, but this time I would say this is a game to testing the synergy between mid and roam.
Yeah, I think like the Kaiser's a good pair counter here as well, right?
Okay.
Obviously, banning that one out because we saw it yesterday when Just Chi went for the Jing, Jan Q went for the Kaiser. And how did they win? It was just kind of always getting that initial engage there, being the invincible warrior, being able to actually soak that damage into the late game. That's part of the equation. You have to get to the late game to have that impact, but it's still a good counter to be making sure you're banning it out so Geekay, so Nemesis don't have that one. But we can see here, Guai Yu gets another big pick. He gets the Byron.
And I mean, like, if Nemesis is going for a substitution for the Kaiser pick, maybe a potential monkey that we might see in this game. And also, they need some kind of hero like Charlotte on the top. Well, do it. Oh, they go for Luna pick. Like it.
The Luna and Sansa combo as well, right? I mean, I've seen this sometimes happen with, like, not only within like 5Q games when people are actually playing as a team, but taking the ride on his ship, then going in, getting that setup, and then just seeing Luna just dashing everywhere is a good potential setup here for Team Nemesis, especially into these team fights.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be the showcases provided by both amazing junglers, right? Both Blue Assassins, Jin and Luna, just can definitely showcase in game. But in the early game, I would say the rhyme, the tempo will be settled by both mid lane roam combo. Xiaochuan and Kui is kind of be a little bit risky, but due to Joe's performance, like amazing performance in last game, I would say this time they will let Joe to lead the whole pace.
Absolutely. See what he can do there with the Xiao Xiao. But you have to give points over to the Sunset pick as well. Again, like, if he's on the boat, he's not going to get hit by the Liang ult or the Princess Frost. He's not going to get slowed down. But when he dismounts, that's when the problem occurs, because you've got the flash, but if you don't have it going into that engage, you're pretty much just committing into a full team fight knowing you're going to die.
It's all about vision control. It's all about pure mechanics trade. So how they're going to execute it, let's dive right into Game 5.
Absolutely. Again, it could be match point here for Geekay, but it was also a potential comeback for Team Nemesis to almost get the first ultimate battle within KWC 2026, which for day number 1 of the playoffs, I would not be angry about.
But still 2 games to go, so who knows? It's not going to be a promising even matchup, but still it's going to be so promising at the bottom that they will go head to head.
Absolutely. I feel like the thing here for Geekay Esports is because they lack obviously frontline, obviously Byron is going to be kind of the only frontline that they have. They're going to be looking for important pickups into those team fights, so they're already playing from the side of Team Nemesis at a disadvantage. So maybe some kind of damage potential being taken off the board here.
Yeah, maybe. Or like those melee fight might happen on the top side of the map, but I would say in the early game, it all matters to the level 4, right?
Yep.
Because at least you need to get level 4, allowing this Leon to make things happen.
Exactly. That's the point. Like, if Nemesis want to make an impact, they're going to make it early here. But into the bot side, they go for a bit of a dive. The hook comes through onto Gem. Can they get enough damage? Joel comes here. He gets the knock-up. Okay, it was a long delayed first blood, but nonetheless, they got it. It puts Joel in a bit of a tricky position, though, there. He gets hit by a lot of CC and gets taken down as well.
Oh, but I do like the aggression that showed by Joe, right? If my Roma just took her back, I'm gonna get the nail down.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw another hook there before the replay into the push. Beautiful.
Get it in. I mean, the accuracy, that's all out there on the side for Nemesis, right? How accurate accurate this Quay is using his skill too.
It's already looking like a very messy match, though. Like we're seeing people dive in very aggressively, like you say. It gets everybody excited, but the problem is, if you're too aggressive and so non-disciplined, you just think you can be able to keep constantly committing for it, but they are able to take down the Musang King on Jing as well. It means that Joel gets the Crimson Golem. They are able to stave away that Azure Golem, and TNX claims back those buffs.
I mean, I do like the way how Nemesis is showing their preparation, you know, because last time when they play against each other in the upper bracket final, they lost the game when Geekay played that Leonard Frost play, right? But in that case, you can see how sophisticated they are. They definitely did their homework, did their research on how they counterattack the most signature picks on the side of Geekay.
Absolutely. You just got to be ready for whatever shows its face within that best of 7, right? I mean, it's a lot of predicting, but like you said, if you do enough homework, you're going to be prepared regardless. And it's definitely put them in that favorable situation right now where you see Nemesis a whole 1K ahead of them before the 4-minute mark.
And also, I do appreciate about Quay's accuracy and also Tian's composure so far in game. And the accuracy right now.
Suppression, but he's able to calculate that all up. He's like, hey, you're going to be locked. Lasso, he brings him into the team. But is that going to be enough here for Nemesis to claim some more? Gem falls down. 2-0 trade. The Wolves are just playing around bot side of the map.
It is like so chaotic, right? Everyone just burst out all the skills that they had. Check out Liang, right? He actually got the first hand, but by Quay's skill too, just allowing them to do the counterattack.
It's so beautiful. Like, that's definitely one way to counter the Liang, right? Especially if you're leaving so much space open. And that can only happen when Guayu is not in that team fight.
Exactly. And Guayu was taken extremely low in that case. And so does Tufts.
Tufts able to obviously capitalize there as well, but it's going to be the takeover of the Tyrant regardless of all that blundering into the mid part of the map there. They were able to get that neutral objective, so Geekay are still onto the board here. We're seeing that buddy system formulate around here because Musang King's actually been a little bit slow in terms of getting that gold.
Yeah, the gold difference is definitely out there, and also the initiation matters a lot in this game.
Ooh, try to get that trick. It's going to be using the Liang ultimate just to stop that hook follow-up, right? There he is. How do you counter the Koi? Is if he's locked into the back line. There it is, the finesse there. He brings it in from the Shadow Clone. He's able to escape here and enable Gem to get
and Luna at the bottom is also chasing in 1 versus 2, make those tower dives happen, but TNX isn't going to be a little bit overcommitted.
When you get hit by that T1, T2, I mean, you saw the aggression. That's the problem, is if you're over-aggressive, you lose your health bars, and at the same time, you're going to get punished.
Yeah, and I mean, like, after all, it's only going to be a Frost, right? It's only going to be a Leon. Is it really worth it to sacrifice your jungler for that mid lane?
I would say no. I would definitely say no. You are literally hindering TNX's next few minutes when it comes to trying to get on top of Musang King's Jing, right? I mean, you're already seeing it here. 500 gold difference has now occurred because of that whole play.
Yeah, so I feel like Geekay actually bought more time for themselves and also even up the gold difference between those junglers. And for Nemesis, CC is farming up really well, right? 4,200 gold with a 300 gold lead. So I would say Nemesis still relying on skill 2 provided by this Quay will be the thing that they might to do.
Yes, they know it's on cooldown now, so they know that the hook's not going to come through if they decide to go for any kind of play here. But it looks like Musang King is just going to make sure the Azure Golem goes over to his favor. And luckily for Nemesis, I mean, it may not be in a moment's notice, but Guayu is looking to get rid of that T1 down to bot side. So if that's the case, CC is going to have a harder job farming up safely.
And I mean, the vision control is totally unbalanced right now.
Yep. Unbalanced. There's a pick. He gets it. He's pinpoint accurate. They get the knockdown onto Musang King. They take down Guayu as well. TNX onto the back line, looking to get rid of Gem. He tries to misplace the Frigid Prison to make sure that TNX took the bait, but he didn't.
I mean, like, check out the accuracy by L. This man's on fire. I mean, how precise he was, right? Getting his first end on Musankin, the string being so mobile and just deny Jing from the first place.
It's very hard. Like, you think about it, that's a very hard play to make, right? It has to be pixel perfect and well-timed. The creation of space has to be made there so the hook connects.
Yeah.
But L is making it look flawless.
I feel like Geekay didn't really prepare for that potential skill too, right, by Quay. Because actually Musankin is available to use his skill to dodge that, but the thing is that he didn't see that coming.
He didn't see that coming, but what might be seeing a potential comeback here is going to be Nemesis trying to get the T1 down to bot side. They're able to get that as well, so they're kind of trying to get a prioritized game state for themselves somewhere else, because obviously mid and Clash Lane is already in the favor of Geekay for now.
But still, the vision control is on the hand of Geekay because they already take the tier 1 tower down in the mid, allowing them to make a lot of things happen. It's going to be great.
Radiant's being popped as well. It keeps him in lockdown, frozen in space and time. The Mirror Mirage comes through. It's going to be the deletion of Tufts, but CC is taking no prisoners. Jungle for jungle, top side as well. Double kill for Shishan.
I do appreciate for Gui's performance and also Gem, right? Gem is just protecting himself, putting into such a nice spot, dodge away the damage dealt by 10x, and also Gui jumping in, just kind of cut the whole battlefield.
Very cut and dry as you see it here from that replay. Just making sure that Quay is the focus so he cannot get that outplay potential. Then we see Musan King able to get the deletion, but it's actually Shishan getting those last little bit of hits there. So you're now starting to see the ferociousness of that aggression being met by such a huge slow by the Princess Frost.
And I feel like with this 2,000 gold lead goes over to Geekay, they can actually slow down a bit more, right? Just make sure that they dodge the skill 2 from Quay first.
That's the aim of the game. Just dodge the hook. Just think you're a toy in a grabbing machine. You just don't want to be picked up. You don't want to be taken away from your head. And that's what's been basically the pull apart here from Nemesis.
I mean, yeah, that's the part. And also, like, for Nemesis, the advantage that they got in the mid-game is about the split push, because both the Sun Tzu and also Luna can do so.
Absolutely. The split push potential here for them is pretty incredible. They've got to make sure that they know and they have that intel, right? I mean, you see here, they're all sitting around this brush. L sitting in the lung brush. They're just waiting for him to feed them. Everyone dives in.
Yes. And gaining that priority at the side lane allows Nemesis to initiate in the mid lane. That's what they're doing right now. But since they missed the hook, it's going to be the time to take a little bit back.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with a preemptive attack, it means it has to hit, right? Like, if you saw there, you see the second skill from the Xiao Chou as well as the hook. Didn't land. It didn't bring anything into fruition. So now we're seeing the set sail. It's onto Liang. He's able to flash out of there alive. Nobody's going to fall down just yet. There is no follow-up from TNX. He's still tucked behind, but it's going to be Musan King into the backline, forcing Joe with a flash. It's going to be the Void Caller, keeping him in place. CC gets a lockdown. He's still on a no-death run. He falls. He's shut down. That's a 3-1 trade once again for Geekay at an important game state. They've lost Musan King.
They've lost the jungler, but not for Nemesis. Once Luna just jumped in, he was easily controlled by this duo. Frost and Leon again shining out on stage.
That's a beautiful way to take that game state that you were hindered by and take the enemy jungler away. There's no smites on board for either of these two teams, but there is a lot of space here for Geekay to be able to take this Tyrant.
Yeah, I mean, like, with the survival, that ring is still be there, so it's gonna be the Tyrant goes over to Geekay. But I do like the way how they put the team fighting to so many different layers, you know, a lot of back and forth that you can see.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an onion, but I mean, at least each time we're not crying as they're peeling it. Exactly, yeah. But it's making Nemesis cry at this moment in time, especially when it's not going in their favor. And speaking of which, gold is not going in their favor as well. They're behind by around about a steady 4k gold. That's slowly but surely mounting here into the 11-minute mark. L is looking for a hook.
And again, it's all about the hit.
Yep.
Well, L hook a ring at this certain stage, buying them time, saving the team to push back, or else it's going to be Musan King dashing in and get that denial on CC.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of looking at here in terms of itemization as well. Shishan and just looking and be like, okay, if we are going to be the ones that's being pulled, we do have the Splendor.
Exactly.
But it's got to be a perfectly timed Splendor.
You need to predict that whether L is going to hook or not.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be like, okay, it's a kind of case-by-case basis, right?
Yeah.
If it's going to work, we need it to work. It's then going to transition into a much better team fight for us here as well. Joel using that poke just to try and clear out this minion wave here, using the Radiance as well.
Ooh,
there
Splendor.
it is. The Splendor cancels it just in the moment's notice. Byron into the back line. He is mobbing up the damage onto the side of Nemesis. Has just fell by at least 66%. And now Tufts falls as well as L. This is looking scary. It is a quadra kill here for the side of Geekay Esports.
They ace Nemesis, Musankin dashing in fearlessly because they know it's gonna be their match point, and with their signature picks, this Frost and Leon and also Musankin dashing in minions on their way is going to be the victory. Goes over to Geekay Esports.
Absolutely, the redemption arc for Musankin does follow further into the story. The next chapter for the MKL representatives has been written. Here is your first semi-finalist, Geekay Esports.
And it's gonna be the double kill when they play against Nemesis, just like what they did in the upper bracket final in the group stage, which made them getting into the quarter.